The Battlefield franchise is one of my favorite series of all time, and I've practically grown up with it. My first Battlefield experience was playing Battlefield Bad Company back in the late 2000s, and since then I've played almost every single game in the franchise, with the exception of Battlefield 1943. After already platinuming Battlefield 4, Hardline, 1, 5, and 6 here on the channel, I thought it was finally time to go back and experience the older campaigns by earning the remaining trophies from Battlefield Bad Company, Bad Company 2, and Battlefield 3, similar to what I did with the Call of Duty franchise. If you want to see the full platinum journeys for some of these games, be sure to check out the links in the description. Unfortunately, due to the online server shutting down for 3 of these games, the multiplayer and co-op trophies are no longer obtainable, meaning only the single player campaign trophies can still be earned. And before anyone asks, no, I won't be including Battlefield 2042 as there is no campaign to complete. This journey has been long overdue, but I'm excited to finally experience every Battlefield campaign and earn every obtainable trophy along the way. So, without further ado, let's start with the very first game in the series, Battlefield Bad Company. Released in June of 2008, Battlefield Bad Company was the 6th installment in the franchise, and the first game to use the Frostbite engine. With its character-driven story, comedic campaign, and destructible environments, it helped push the series in a new direction. And like I mentioned in the intro, Battlefield Bad Company holds a special place in my heart, as it was the first Battlefield game I ever played, and the game that made me fall in love with the series. I still remember seeing the yellow smiley face logo as the game's icon on the Xbox 360 store, and playing the demo over and over again as a kid, so I was really excited to finally play through the full game for the first time in years. Since then, I've only experienced the game briefly, including an attempt on the Xbox 360 back in 2016 where I played through a few missions and earned 4 achievements along the way. In total, Battlefield Bad Company features 51 trophies, with 30 of them being related to the campaign, including story completion, collectibles, and combat-related challenges. The remaining trophies are tied to the multiplayer, which is no longer available following the server shutdown in 2023. So let's take a trip down memory lane and begin the Battlefield Bad Company campaign. Before beginning the campaign, I made sure to start on hard difficulty as it was required for a trophy. However, unlike most modern games, Bad Company's difficulty trophies didn't stack, meaning I would need to complete the game a second time on normal to earn the remaining difficulty related trophies. Battlefield Bad Company follows Preston Marlowe, a new member of the 222nd Army Battalion's B Company, better known as Bad Company. He fights alongside Redford, Sweetwater, and Haggard as they take on the Russian army and other threats throughout the campaign. And Bad Company lived up to its name immediately, as shortly after starting we were attacked and thrown into the game's tutorial. Here I learned the controls, which definitely showed their age and took some time getting used to. I also learned about the different tools available, including health stims, a grenade launcher, and the repair tool used to fix vehicles. After completing the tutorial, we were sent to take out nearby artillery crews. This was my first experience with combat, and I quickly realized that enemies hit hard on hard difficulty. Wow. While clearing the area, I picked up my first enemy weapon, which counted towards the game's 30 weapon collectibles. These were required for trophies, so I made sure to search every area in each mission carefully. I also died for the first time during this section and noticed one of Bad Company's unique features. Instead of resetting back to a checkpoint, the game simply respawns you nearby while keeping previously defeated enemies dead. And this made some of the more difficult sections much easier because I didn't have to repeat entire fights. After taking out the artillery crews, I used one of the guns to destroy enemy vehicles attacking a friendly convoy, which earned me my first trophy for eliminating 25 enemies.
It's out! The shot is out! Okay, they're done. Oh, saying again?
Killer on the loose. From there, we continued pushing through Russian-occupied areas, clearing a farm, and taking down a tank before finally getting ready for our extraction.
We got a visual on the LZ. Stand clear. Out.
Oh god.
Here's a 6-5. I'm hit. Hell. 6-5. Going down. 6-5. Going down. Yes! Ah, damn it. Thrown out. Shit, I knew it!
With our helicopter destroyed, the mission continued as we were tasked with taking out anti-air emplacements and clearing out another farm. Before reaching the objective, I found my 5th collectible weapon. Collectible scar found. I think that's the last one in this mission. You found it. You keep it. After destroying the anti-air guns, we joined the convoy and were hit with another artillery attack. After escaping, we destroyed radar jammers to allow an airstrike to take out the artillery. Following the strike, we encountered the Legionnaires, a mercenary group considered one of the most powerful military organizations in the world. After defeating them, Haggard discovered a gold bar on one of the soldiers, starting the squad's interest in the Legionnaires' gold.
So, that's how it started. We found this little piece of gold. The people with less moral fiber, that might have posed a problem. But we're all men of duty. So, when the sergeant said the gold belonged to the army, we all agreed and got back to work.
That was fun. Action, not words. I think that's for beating that mission on hard. Wasn't too bad. Checkpoint system really saved me, because if I had to kill everyone again after dying, oof, that'd be a long one. On what was supposed to be Redford's final mission before retirement, the squad continued pushing through Russian territory. While searching a house marked with the Legionnaires' insignia, Marlowe found a gold bar. I love gold. I guess that's the first gold bar. Nice, mercenary gold stolen. That's one of many. This became my first of 30 gold collectibles, meaning that alongside searching for weapons during each mission, I also needed to find 5 gold bars in each of the remaining 6 missions. After finding the gold bar, the squad was then tasked with destroying fuel and missile storage facilities before escorting a US armed division into the Russian-occupied city of Zabelgrad. While clearing the path for the tanks, I ran into more enemies and used the auto-injector for the 50th time. A hypochondriac. I knew it had to be coming soon because I've been using that so often. Which is no surprise given that this is hard, but that's a pretty easy one. After taking out the anti-tank missile launchers, we met up with the tank convoy and needed to escort them to the city. This section was one of the first times the game really tested me, as there was a checkpoint where I couldn't afford to let the tanks get destroyed, which of course happened a few times before I actually managed to get them through. After successfully escorting the convoy, we were sent to destroy a Russian radio outpost before they could call in more reinforcements. Unfortunately, the call went through and more enemies arrived, forcing us to defend a US tank until ally support arrived. During this fight, I also destroyed my 200th wall. Homewrecker. I don't know what that means, but no time to look it up because I'm getting absolutely destroyed right now. Absolutely pummeled. Pause. After holding out until the reinforcements arrived, the squad was sent to investigate a harbor with suspicious activity. Hoping to finally learn more about the Legionnaires' gold, the squad fought through the area only to find nothing. However, they soon spotted trucks escaping the harbor, and after seeing a gold bar fall out of the back, they decided to follow them. Where are they going so fast? That was a pretty fun mission again. A little bit difficult. More difficult than the first for sure. The third mission didn't really give me any trophy progress, but it ended up being one of the toughest missions in the game. Shortly after arriving at the border of Surderstan, the squad discovered the gold trucks had crossed into the neutral country, meaning they couldn't follow. However, Haggard had other plans and decided to cross the border anyway, which led to one of the funniest moments in the game.
He can't hear you, Sarge. If he could, he wouldn't listen.
I hate to say this, but we have to go and get him back.
Do we really have to go and get him back? I mean, have to?
Move out.
So, Haggard had pretty much single-handedly invaded a neutral country. Not the best move.
Is this your idea of fun, Haggard?
Well, yeah.
May I ask you why?
The gold! Didn't you see it? I mean, Sweetwater could never swallow a piece that big.
Just shut it, Hag. Give me one good reason that I should not send your ass to jail.
Well, because you love me, Sarge. In a plutonic way.
Bravo 1 Charlie, this is Mike 1 Juliet, over.
Mike 1 Juliet, this is Bravo 1 Charlie, over.
I hope you have a very good explanation for this, Sergeant, over.
It was my call. We had to, retaliate a hostile. A threat. Over.
Just get yourselves back to base, over.
That's fine with me. I was planning to go fishing anyway. Over.
You're facing court-martial. I don't think you're gonna go anywhere for at least 9 to 12 months. Out.
Shit.
That was bad, wasn't it? That was bad.
It was bad, Hags. It's about as bad as anything we've ever done. Whatever you've done, it's as bad as that.
Not like Chris Christopherson's third album.
Oh, bad. Worse.
No way!
Let me think.
So, where does this leave us?
We're here, ain't we?
What?
Where'd those trucks go?
Oh, no, Sarge, you can't be serious!
I am.
What? You want to go after the gold?
I'll never get any metal from the army, will I?
You guys coming or what?
I'm not sure that this is happening for the right reasons.
Gold sweets, 24 carats. What kind of motivation do you need?
What do you think, Preston?
Hell, I guess I could use a couple million, same as everybody else.
Guys, wait up!
After this, the squad decided to go AWOL and needed to destroy radio towers to cover their tracks. This was where the mission really started to test me, as we were spotted by a helicopter and I ended up getting spawn killed for almost 10 minutes before finally pushing forward. Eventually, Redford discovers that the gold was being stored at another harbor. This part was also difficult, as on the way to the harbor were a bunch of tanks and enemies with RPGs, and if I died I would be sent pretty far back, and to no one's surprise I died a lot, which caused this mission to take over an hour to complete. But after finally getting to the harbor and fighting through the area, the squad was close to reaching the Legionnaires' ship when the US Army arrived and captured them.
Yeah? Says you and what army?
What?
I just always wanted to say that.
Why?
Sounds cool. Really shut him up.
You shut up. Look around.
That army. Say goodbye to the gold.
So, I wonder what jail's gonna be like.
I hear the food's pretty good.
Yeah, I got a feeling the food is gonna be the least of my problems. Dropping the soap is what I'm worried about.
I hate that. It's all mush in your hands. You can't grab it, slip
You
it.
two just shut up.
Say goodbye to the gold. Another fun one. That one was probably, again, the hardest, so they're getting harder. The army later sent Bravo 1 Charlie on a top secret mission into Kurdistan to capture the president, who they believed was working with the Russians. However, the squad quickly realized Kurdistan wasn't as neutral as they thought when their helicopter was shot down by enemy anti-air defenses. Mike 1 Juliet then tasked us with destroying 3 missile launchers so another helicopter could arrive for extraction. While taking out the first launcher, I found another weapon collectible, which put me halfway through the game's collectible total. Halfway through. I guess that was half of the weapons that are in this game. Nice. After destroying the missile launchers, we were sent towards the presidential palace, but the route was blocked by heavy enemy resistance. While fighting through the area, I faced off against multiple tanks and eventually managed to destroy my 50th vehicle.
Now that's entertainment.
The anti-mechanic. Once we reached the palace, we discovered it was filled with Legionnaires. After fighting our way inside, I found the final gold bar of the mission, bringing my total up to 15. Check my grill. After reaching the president, Redford called for an extraction, but Mike 1 Juliet revealed that the army had abandoned us. President Serdar then offered another way out using his personal helicopter.
Now, this is stately transportation for VIP. Quite improper for your unhygienic, smelly bum-bums.
What about the unhygienic decor? I mean, is that a mirror ball? Although I have to confess, a hot tub is a very nice touch. Now, let me see how you fly this.
Hold on. Get out of that seat.
No fun.
Preston, show us your stuff.
Preston, you the man.
I'll give it a shot. So there we were, crammed in a pimped-out Russian hind with a megalomaniac and a rack full of bad
insane.
CDs, left to die by our superiors, and with the world's deadliest army using us for target practice. It wasn't the first time I'd flown a chopper, but the circumstances were sort of special.
Cartwheels. That was a fun mission. It was pretty silly. I liked how enemies would just pull up in golf carts to try and stop a tank. Love it. Game's awesome. The squad then took the president's helicopter and used it to destroy Kurdistan's military infrastructure. Right at the start of the mission, I earned a trophy for driving every vehicle type in the game. And they drove that. I have no idea how to drive this. While flying around the map and destroying enemy positions, I also managed to eliminate 25 enemies with the helicopter. Death from above. Again, not too sure what that is, but I'm sure I probably just told you. Eventually, the helicopter ran out of fuel, forcing Marlowe and Haggard to find another way to refuel it. This led to one of the funny typical Bad Company moments, as Haggard messed up the process, leaving Sweetwater to fix the problem while the squad defended against enemy reinforcements.
Okay, guys, get the bird refueled and let's get her up in the air.
I'll do it, Sarge. Got it here in no time.
Don't get me wrong, I want to get out of here too, but where are we going exactly?
Not to worry, around next bend is beautiful Polyolova National Bridge. It's named for my mother.
A bridge? A bridge to where?
Oh, to Russia.
To Russia? We don't want to go to Russia.
I am devastated to inform you that there is no alternative unless we want to stay in the vicinity of my once loyal troops. Speaking of which...
Shit, here they come. Haggard, you done?
After escaping, the president revealed that he knew the location of the gold and agreed to help the squad. However, before they could make it to safety, a Legionnaire pilot attacked them and shot down the helicopter.
Russia? Question mark?
After the helicopter crash, Marlowe woke up to find the squad and the president missing. With help from Mike 1 Juliet, I made my way through enemy territory searching for their location. During the search, we discovered that the Legionnaires had captured President Serdar and were interrogating him. Eventually, Marlowe reached the monastery at the top of the mountain, only to find out that the squad had already escaped and didn't need as much saving as expected. After reuniting with the team, I climbed to the top of the monastery tower and reached the highest point in the game, earning another trophy.
On top of the world. I think this is the highest point in the game. Something like that. I don't know. Trophy. Regardless.
Together, we made our way down the mountain while fighting through Russian forces and heavy vehicles, including tanks, APCs, and a Hind helicopter. Eventually, we reached a port where the Legionnaires were about to execute President Serdar. After stopping the execution, we escaped by boat with the president and headed towards Sadez, a city along the Caspian Sea.
Capitalist pigs. Very nice. That one was a little bit tough, solo. Again, it seems like every single mission gets a little bit harder and harder. If I wasn't solo, I think that one would have been a lot easier.
The president was eventually sent into exile while the squad continued their search for the Legionnaires' gold. After fighting through heavy enemy resistance, including soldiers and tanks, the squad learned that the US Army was also heading towards the port of Sadez to claim the gold. To get there first, we needed to destroy 2 bridges and slow down the army's advance. While completing this objective, I found my final weapon collectible.
Clean sweep. No, that was the final weapon. I've picked up every single weapon in the game. That, of course, was the final one. And they're technically considered collectibles, which I find kind of interesting, as, you know, modern day collectibles are like what the gold would be.
On the way to the gold transport, I also found my final gold bar.
Gold digger. That's for getting all 30 gold, I think. 5 in each mission, -1, yeah. 30 in total. Nice.
After stealing a jeep and reaching the port, we finally found the Legionnaire's gold inside a warehouse. However, before we could take anything, the Legionnaire arrived in his attack helicopter and started fighting the squad. While trying to destroy the helicopter, I used a laser designator to hit the helicopter, earning one of the final miscellaneous trophies.
All I gotta do is hit it. All I gotta do is hit it. Stop moving. Oh, that's good. Boom. That's a hit. Come on. 1 in a million. Okay, so I tried that like 5 times before, but I guess I had to reach this point in order for it to register that it was hittable. So I guess that makes sense. I figured that was a problem.
After hitting the helicopter, I picked up a rocket launcher and finally managed to take it down. With the fight over, we returned to the warehouse, only to find the US Army loading all of the gold into their own trucks. The squad thought they left empty-handed, but they had one last surprise up their sleeves.
Wars are fought for any number of reasons. Sometimes, if the ones they give you aren't good enough, you have to find your own. And maybe, if you're lucky, you get out in one piece. But in the end, I guess it's really about the guys next to you.
Truckosaurus Rex, here I come.
Grad school, here I come.
Woo! Let's go fishing.
What a game. That was fun. Not too difficult, annoying at some parts, but I've played a lot harder games than that. Here's your DD-214. Uh-oh. Are we going to be left on a cliffhanger? He's alive. We don't even know his name. Find out what happens next time. Let's go.
Now that I had completed every mission on hard difficulty, I needed to replay the entire campaign on normal, while also cleaning up my final 2 miscellaneous trophies. The first required me to complete any mission without dying. To play it safe, I decided to complete the first mission on easy, as dying on normal was still a real possibility, and each mission could take around 45 minutes to complete, making for a lot of deadly encounters. And despite a few close calls, I was eventually able to finish the mission without dying.
I'm gonna die. I think I did it. I did not die. I do it? Wait for the pop. Please. 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 I didn't die. Staying alive. Thank God. I hated that. It was a little bit stressful. Now I can play on normal and be relieved of stress. I don't care if I die now, which is good.
After that, I started my normal playthrough and made my way through the first 4 missions with little trouble.
Alright, that should give me another trophy for beating the first mission on normal. I hate that the difficulty trophies didn't stack. Always get paid in gold bars. Not even a nugget. You and what army? He might come in handy.
When I reached Air Force One, I finally destroyed my 250th tree and earned my last miscellaneous trophy.
Maniac Lumberjack. Oh my god. I don't know how I didn't get that earlier. Like, genuinely, I ran over every single tree in that last mission. Well, maybe not every, but it seemed like every, and I didn't get it until right now. But at least that's done. That's the final miscellaneous trophy that I needed in this game. Now I just gotta complete it. It shouldn't be too difficult.
And after completing the final 3 missions, I finally earned every campaign trophy in Battlefield Bad Company.
Hold on. Let's take that boat. One more. Let's go. I think that's game. Sir, yes, sir. That is for completing the final mission, and that means that that is the final trophy of Bad Company 1.
Battlefield Bad Company was such a nostalgic experience for me. This was really my first time playing through the full game in almost 2 decades, and while the controls took some time getting used to, the game still held up in a lot of ways. The campaign felt more like a comedy movie than a traditional war story, which is a big reason why the game is still so beloved today. The characters were great, the writing was funny, and the unique mechanics helped it stand out from the other shooters of its era. Even with only 7 missions, each one could take between 45 minutes to an hour, making this a much longer campaign than many modern titles. As for the trophies, they were actually not too bad. The only thing that would have made this better was if the difficulty trophy stacked, but having to play through the campaign a second time wasn't too bad. Overall, Battlefield Bad Company was a great trip down memory lane, and I can see why it's considered one of the most beloved games in the series. Now, it's time to move on to its sequel, Battlefield Bad Company 2. Released in March of 2010, Battlefield Bad Company 2 was the 10th installment in the franchise, and introduced Destruction 2.0, which allowed players to fully collapse buildings instead of just their walls. Like the first game, I also played Bad Company 2 back in the day on Xbox 360 around 2014, where I earned 17 achievements during that playthrough. Battlefield Bad Company 2 features 51 base game trophies, with 30 coming from the campaign and the rest from multiplayer. However, like Bad Company 1, the online servers were shut down in 2023, making those multiplayer trophies no longer obtainable. So, without further ado, let's begin Battlefield Bad Company 2's campaign. The game opens in October 1944 with a US commando team infiltrating a Japanese island to extract a scientist with information on a weapon codenamed the Black Weapon. This acts as the game's tutorial, and the controls felt very similar to the first Bad Company. After securing the scientist and attempting an escape by submarine, the team witnesses the effects of the Black Weapon, and the mission ends in complete disaster, setting up the main story.
Volcano? Definitely not a volcano. Tsunami? What is going on? That was kind of insane. Now we're in space? I'm not gonna lie, Battlefield has fallen off since this game. Holy, this is crazy. I knew we'd make it. Did we? I saw some dog tags. I don't know if they made it. That was cool.
In the present day, Bad Company is on a counterintelligence operation behind enemy lines in Russia, tasked with securing a high-value US target and a device connected to a scalar weapon. Like in the first game, I needed to pick up enemy weapons throughout the campaign for collectible-related trophies. Eventually, we spotted our target, but he managed to escape before we were authorized to engage. While searching for a vehicle in a nearby town, I died for the first time and quickly realized that, unlike the first game, Battlefield Company 2 used a more traditional checkpoint system, meaning my progress was reset after dying. While fighting through the town, I managed to melee 10 enemies.
10 blades. That's the melee kills I needed. Nice.
Shortly after, I destroyed my first building.
Oh. Does that count? I technically blew it up. Demolish. Let's go. Now I need 49 more.
And after clearing the town of soldiers and even a tank, we finally found a vehicle, and during the following chase, I managed to destroy 100 objects.
Destruction. This is crazy. Did he just respawn?
After a chaotic pursuit that ended with a helicopter crashing in a tunnel, we recovered the device and completed what we thought was our final mission in B Company. However, it was soon revealed that the device was a decoy. Improving on their performance, the Army assigns the squad to the Special Activities Division and tasks them with delivering information to Agent Aguirre in Bolivia, who is believed to have knowledge about the weapon of mass destruction the Russians are trying to obtain, much to Sergeant Redford's disappointment.
Retirement just got postponed. Again.
In the next mission, the squad traveled to Bolivia in search of Aguirre, and a few minutes into the mission, I found my 5th collectible.
New shiny gun. Let's go.
The early part of the mission consisted of heavy firefights with paramilitary forces, and during the fighting, I managed to earn 50 kills with light machine guns.
Light machine gun lash out. Let's go. A lot of trophies coming in now. Love to see that.
While moving through the jungle, I destroyed my first satellite uplink. There were 24 satellite uplinks in total, but I only needed to destroy 22 for a trophy.
Link to the past. I think there's 22 in total that I need to destroy.
And after clearing out multiple militia camps, the first of the 2 missions in this chapter was complete.
It's bad for my karma, man. I really like the environment in that mission. That was cool.
At the start of the next mission, we saw Aguirre being moved by Russian guards, but after clearing the area, he was gone. Continuing the assault up the river, we picked up his trail and eventually reached a stronghold filled with enemies. During the fight, I managed to earn 50 kills with submachine guns and another 50 with sniper rifles.
Submachine gun storm. Alright, now I'm gonna try and get the sniper kills, which may not be super easy in close quarters. Oh, sniper rifle strike. See, we're moving along just fine here. Now I need assault rifles and shotguns.
After clearing the area, we rescued Aguirre just before he was loaded onto a helicopter. He then revealed that his intelligence had been stolen by the Russians and requested that we retrieve it from a satellite network.
They got all your intel? Question mark. I guess I should have said that more like a question.
It turns out that the satellite's controls were located on top of a mountain, so that's where the next mission took place. The squad moved up the mountain with support from Flynn and his Black Hawk helicopter, and while fighting through the ascent, I found my 15th weapon collectible.
Guns, guns, guns. We're moving along here. This game is a lot shorter, it seems, compared to the first game. Easier trophies as well.
After taking control of the satellite station, Sweetwater managed to reprogram it to crash, meaning we now needed to reach the crash site and recover the data. While fighting through a village on the way to find a vehicle, I got my 50th kill with an assault rifle.
Assault rifle aggression. Now I only need to get shotgun kills, which again I shouldn't be far away from at all.
After stealing a vehicle, we drove across the mountain to find the satellite, fighting through enemy vehicles and resistance along the way. Eventually we reached another village where we watched the satellite crash.
Sweet Jesus.
That's crazy. Surprised no avalanche.
That is the greatest thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
Let's just go get the damn satellite.
Salvage a vehicle. That was fun.
After holding off incoming attackers and recovering the data, the mission turned into a fight for survival as a blizzard moved in. While descending the mountain by myself, I had to deal with both enemy patrols and the freezing weather, which forced me to stop inside buildings and find sources of heat to survive. This was a really cool mechanic that added an extra challenge to the mission. During the descent, I also earned my 50th kill with shotguns.
Wall of shotgun. I believe that's the last weapons kill trophy that I needed, which is very nice.
After making it to the bottom of the mountain, I was extracted by Flynn's helicopter. During the extraction, Aguirre revealed that the person behind the scalar weapon was Karolinko, a Russian colonel who was believed to be hiding in Chile, and this of course set up the next mission.
Alright, here it is. This is fun. I've been enjoying this game.
Marlowe and the squad traveled to Chile where they were assisted by US Armored Forces and Marines. Early in the mission, I took control of an aircraft, and here I grinded out the rest of the 50 houses that I needed to demolish.
Demolish Part 2.
After continuing the push in the tank, I also managed to travel 5 kilometers in a land vehicle, earning another trophy.
Taxi. Let's go. Yet another trophy. A lot of these are coming around the same time, which is very good, very ideal.
Eventually, we reached a village and made our way to the house where Karolinko was believed to be hiding. After searching the area, we found Russian soldiers who revealed his location, bringing the mission to an end.
Another mission down.
Nobody ever drowned in sweat. Continuing the search for Karolinko, our convoy was attacked multiple times, eventually forcing us to continue on foot. Using a sewer system, we finally found Karolinko, but he escaped after US forces shelled his position. With only documents from his office remaining, Sweetwater discovered a shipping manifest for a lost ship called the Sangre del Toro, setting up our next objective.
That was it for that mission? That was super quick. Ghost Rider's here.
The next mission took place in a desert, and it was one of the more open missions in the campaign. Here, we needed to locate 3 different base stations, and the mission gave us more freedom to choose our own path and approach each objective however we decided. After clearing out the first 2 base stations, I found my 15th satellite uplink at the final location.
Communication issues. Let's go. 15 satellite uplinks down. I think 6 more to go.
After using all 3 base stations to create a triangulation point, we finally discovered the location of the lost ship. Once I arrived, I retrieved the unknown compound needed for the scalar weapon and learned more about the truth behind Operation Aurora.
Well, this whole Operation Aurora thing, I think I just found part of it. It looks like we knew the Japanese had scalar tech as early as 43. This Operation Aurora was a suicide mission. We sent these guys in to die. All of them. Wyatt, Faraday.
Wyatt? They knew?
Yeah, they even had projected unit casualties. I guess they needed to know what the weapon would do. Wait. Okay. Run this code. Sierra Foxtrot 1079er.
That's a U.S. military prefix, but nothing even our clearance could reference. How much?
Hard to say. Just the one.
Just take it and get out ASAP. This area's too hot. We're pulling all our operatives out.
Solid copy.
Sierra Foxtrot 1079.
While trying to reach Aguirre and deliver the compound we found, the squad's helicopter was shot down by a Javelin missile. As the helicopter was going down, Marlowe made the decision to jump out of the helicopter to save the compound. After landing, I found and regrouped with Sweetwater before taking on a militia counterattack. After reuniting with the rest of the squad, we fought through heavily defended Russian positions and eventually found Flynn. From there, we used quad bikes to reach a helicopter base, and after taking control of a salvaged Black Hawk, I managed to destroy my 1000th object.
Destruction Part 2, thank God. I was a little worried I was going to have to go back for that one, but I mean, the amount of things I'm destroying in this game are pretty ridiculous, so not surprised I got that there. Happy I got it there. Glad I don't have to go back for that.
Eventually, we reached the rendezvous point with Aguirre and handed over the compound. However, it was revealed that Aguirre had betrayed the squad and was working with Karolinko.
He's a backstabber.
You see, for years, he was my rival in the quest for the weapon. No longer.
Why?
Because they lied to me.
Because I did a little digging on you. Nothing interesting. And then you went all loopy when you heard the name Thomas Wyatt. Now, he had a son, James, about your age. Stop me if this rings any bells. Your father was the commando, Thomas Wyatt. I think when you found out your government got him killed, you flipped. The government, they lied, didn't they?
I had forgiven everything. Until I heard they knew about the weapon. Until then. That's why this country needs to be erased.
You're fucking nuts. You can't just destroy a nation for payback.
I can't, no. But he can. I concur.
I mean, deserved, bro. Oh. The GOAT. There's no way he got away again.
Thanks for the smokes, brother.
He's dead.
Go! Get out of here! Go!
Thank you for saving us, Ghost Rider. You will be missed. Thanks for the smokes, brother. R.I.P. He saved us. It costed him his life.
While still mourning Flynn's loss, the squad used a Russian radio signal to track down Karolinko's position and started pushing through the city to try and find him. After fighting through enemy forces, including mortars, I found my 22nd and final satellite uplink.
complete blackout. I believe that was the last satellite that I needed.
After fighting through more enemies, we eventually reached a large river where a massive battle between US and Russian forces was taking place. However, the fight came to a stop when the scalar weapon was activated, destroying the area and disabling all electronics.
Hags, come on now. If you leave, no more T-bone steaks, man.
Yeah. No more buying AR-15 ammo at the mall. No more shooting trespassers on your porch.
No more biscuits and gravy.
No more Super Bowl Sundays.
No.
No more Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Shit. That's Tor. Get out of the way. I gotta save me some cheerleaders.
Save me some cheerleaders. I love the trophy names.
The next mission had us chasing after Karolinko through the blast zone as he attempted to escape by plane. This was one of the quicker missions of the campaign as I was able to run past most enemies in gunfights. Eventually, we reached a vantage point near the airstrip only to realize that the plane was already taking off. After using the sewer system to get onto the airstrip, we raced towards the plane.
Okay, this is not real, obviously, but there's no way they're keeping up speed with the plane. Zero chance. That's hilarious though. That mission was so short. That probably took 5 minutes, the most. Turn on a light.
Before starting the final mission, I exited to the main menu and switched the difficulty to hard. Unlike the first Bad Company, I didn't need to complete the entire campaign on hard, only the final mission. Luckily, this was one of the easier missions and by far the quickest, and I was able to complete it without much trouble. After boarding the plane, the squad fought their way through the aircraft, taking out Karolinko's men while making their way towards the scalar weapon. Once they reached the scalar chamber, they discovered that the weapon was protected behind a reinforced glass wall, forcing Hager to use C4 to break through. And after destroying the scalar weapon, the squad attempted to escape the plane. However, Karolinko confronted Marlowe during the escape and the two were forced into a free-fall fight from the aircraft.
Oh, so like Saints Row. I gotta shoot him. How am I gonna do this? I got him. He's dead.
Moments later, Sweetwater managed to save Marlowe by passing him a parachute, allowing both of them to survive the fall. After returning home, the squad celebration was cut short when General Braidwood revealed that the Russians had begun invading through Alaska, setting up the next threat, concluding the final mission and unlocking my final 2 trophies.
The end. P.S. Invasion cancelled, sir. It sucks to be right. That's for beating the last mission on hard, which was not hard at all. I'm kind of sad that they ended on a cliffhanger because another game was not made, which is, again, unfortunate.
Battlefield Bad Company 2, like the first game, was another nostalgic experience for me. However, after playing through both campaigns back to back, I have to say I personally preferred the first Bad Company. I wasn't the biggest fan of how the campaign was structured, as Bad Company 2 was split into multiple smaller missions per chapter instead of having fewer longer missions like the previous game. That's of course definitely more of a personal preference, as I can understand why some people prefer Bad Company 2's structure. With that being said, I definitely preferred Bad Company 2's gameplay. The gunplay, destruction, and overall mechanics felt much more like a traditional FPS, which is something I enjoyed. The return of the Bad Company squad was also great, and the writing continued to be one of the highlights with a lot of funny moments throughout the campaign. As for the trophies, they were not too bad at all, and I was able to earn all of them in around 5 hours, making this a pretty quick completion. Overall, I enjoyed Battlefield Bad Company 2, but I still think the first game was the stronger experience. Nonetheless, the journey continues as we move on to the next game, Battlefield 3. Released in October of 2011, Battlefield 3 was the 12th installment in the franchise and introduced Destruction 3.0, expanding the series' destruction system with more destructible objects and environments. Jets also made their return to the series as pilotable vehicles, and the prone stance was also made available. Like Bad Company 1 and 2, I also played Battlefield 3 on the Xbox 360 all the way back in 2013 on my first and original Xbox account, where I earned 9 achievements during that full playthrough. However, since then, I hadn't returned to the game. Until now, Battlefield 3 features 39 base game trophies, with 20 coming from the campaign, 9 from co-op, and 9 from multiplayer. Unfortunately, the game's servers shut down in 2024, making all co-op and multiplayer trophies no longer obtainable. So, with that being said, let's begin Battlefield 3's campaign. Before beginning, I made sure to start my playthrough on hard difficulty, as that was required for a trophy. Unlike the Bad Company games, which focused on a more character-driven and comedic story, Battlefield 3 shifted towards a more serious and cinematic military experience in order to compete with Call of Duty. The game opens in New York City with an unidentified US Marine in handcuffs, escaping law enforcement while trying to stop a terrorist attack on a subway train. After fighting through the train and reaching the front, he is confronted by Solomon, the man behind the attack, and before we see what happens next, the game fades to black, concluding the opening mission.
Flash forward. That was insane. That's a great start to the game. That was fun. I don't remember that at all from playing, but it was cool. Hectic start.
In the next cutscene, we see Sergeant Henry Blackburn being interrogated about a terrorist attack that is expected to happen in New York. The investigators show him a picture of Solomon, the man from the train, and demand more information. The game then flashes back 9 months earlier to when Blackburn first encountered Solomon. Blackburn and his squad, Misfit 1-3, are sent into Iraq to search for a missing US squad last seen investigating a possible IED. After searching through the area, we were ambushed in a parking lot and one of our squad members was injured. After clearing the area, we moved to the rooftops where we continued taking fire from enemy forces. After taking out an enemy sniper with an RPG, I was tasked with providing cover while the injured soldier was evacuated. This was my first chance to earn a miscellaneous trophy, and after successfully protecting the squad until they escaped, I got the trophy.
Not on my watch. That was the trophy for protecting him as they crossed the street. Let's go. First miscellaneous of many.
After returning to the ground, we finally located the missing squad in a damaged vehicle. While investigating the area, we discovered a nearby van contained an armed bomb, and after following the wires, I was attacked by an enemy, but I managed to take him out and disarm the bomb. When I returned to the squad, we came under attack again, but before the fight could continue, a massive earthquake destroyed the city. Several hours later, Blackburn wakes up after being unconscious, and this is our first look at Solomon as he executes an injured soldier.
Shock troop. This game is insane so far.
After regaining consciousness, I escaped the rubble and was tasked with navigating through the destroyed city to reach an extraction point. Along the way, I had to fight through enemy resistance, and during the chaos, I managed to kick a car onto 2 enemies below me.
Did I do it? Roadkill. I like that. It's a fun achievement.
Shortly after, I also managed to kill 2 more enemies before a building collapsed onto them.
Involuntary euthanasia.
Eventually, I found another member of my squad and we made it to the extraction point. However, the area was under attack, and after holding out in a Humvee, our extraction finally arrived. In the next mission, we learned that the PLR had staged a coup in Iran, leading to a massive US military response. I then took control of Lieutenant Hawkins during an air mission over Iran. This mission featured one of, if not the most annoying trophy in the history of Battlefield campaigns, which required me to complete the jet section perfectly by countering every heat seeker missile with flares and destroying all enemy jets only using heat seeker missiles. And also, each jet had to be destroyed with 1 shot or else I'd have to restart the entire mission. And the trophy requirements wasn't even the worst part. The biggest issue was that failing required me to replay a 5-minute intro every time before getting another attempt, and my initial attempts did not go so well.
I missed it.
What? I don't understand.
Oh well. I'm gonna be here all day if I stay on this one. It's annoying, but oh well.
After around 45 minutes of failed attempts, I decided to come back to it later. The rest of the mission had me destroying enemy vehicles at an airfield and taking out a high-value target before returning to the ship. After the airstrikes, Blackburn and Misfit 1-3 were sent into Tehran to perform a battle damage assessment and capture PLR leader Farouk al-Bashir. After fighting through the city and infiltrating a bank where he was believed to be hiding, we discovered that the PLR had acquired portable nuclear devices. With 2 of the 3 devices missing, the squad requested backup after realizing they were about to be overrun.
Where are the other 2? It's a great question.
In the next mission, we take control of a Russian GRU agent named Dima, as he and his team attempt to infiltrate the Euronext stock exchange in Paris to stop a PLR nuclear attack being pinned on Russia. The mission begins with a stealth infiltration through the building, but it quickly breaks down into full combat as we clear out PLR forces through offices and hallways. However, the situation escalates when a gas attack is triggered, forcing everyone to move through the building under gas masks while fighting through the chaos. The combat then moves outside into an on-foot street chase through Paris. During this section, I had to complete the chase in under 2 minutes and 30 seconds without dying, which wasn't too difficult on paper, but given I was playing on hard, I knew I would probably have to come back later, and I was right, as I died pretty quickly into the section.
Yeah, that's gonna be, I mean, I already failed, so.
As we neared the end of the pursuit, an RPG strike takes out one of the members of the team, forcing Dima and Kirill to push on alone. Dima eventually catches the target and takes him down, only to discover that the nuclear device in the case was a decoy. Shortly after, the real nuclear device detonates elsewhere in Paris, destroying the Euronext exchange.
This is the end. That was not good. I have to come back to that mission to get the miscellaneous one, but that's alright.
In the following cutscene, we learn that the Paris explosion occurred 10 hours earlier in the present day, and that the investigators took the bait, blaming Dima and Russia for the attack. The game then flashes back to Blackburn's distress call. We then take control of Sergeant Miller, leading an armor unit towards Tehran through the Kavir Desert. Early on, we engage PLR armor forces, and I managed to destroy 6 enemy tanks on the way to the fort.
I don't know if that's a trophy. I think so, but I could be wrong. Scrap metal. There we go. That was one of the easiest, well, probably the easiest miscellaneous trophy thus far.
After reaching a PLR encampment, we destroy their rocket batteries and continue pushing forward into enemy territory. The advance quickly escalates into a large-scale tank battle with enemy forces attempting to lure us into an ambush, which we manage to break through. During the highway push, we come under heavy attack from cars armed with explosives and anti-tank units, turning the overpass into complete chaos. After holding off the ambush, our unit receives orders to continue the push into downtown Tehran, leading into the next mission. We remain in control of the tank as we advance towards the bank, where we are tasked with defending the Marines while they wait for extraction. During this section, I encountered a strange glitch where looking in the direction of enemies would cause the screen to whiten out completely, making it impossible to see what was happening. Essentially, I had to rely purely on audio and guess where enemies were coming from, which made this much more difficult than it should have been. Nevertheless, I eventually managed to hold off the attack until the Marines were successfully extracted. However, the situation quickly falls apart and we are eventually overwhelmed and captured. Here, Farouk al-Bashir delivers a short monologue before Sergeant Miller is executed by Solomon on camera. This leads into the next mission, where we are tasked with bringing down al-Bashir and helping topple the PLR in Iran. The mission begins with Blackburn and Campo overlooking the landing zone of Misfit 1-4's assault unit. Here, in order to earn a trophy, I needed to shoot out 4 streetlights using exactly 4 bullets in order to keep the LZ dark. This required perfect accuracy, and after a few attempts, I managed to earn the trophy.
4 shots. Let's go. Army of Darkness.
After the assault unit landed, Campo and I made our way to al-Bashir's location, and along the way I managed to take out 2 enemies with a single bullet.
Good shot.
That should be the trophy, unless there's another group of 2.
Cover them while they cross.
2-4. Again, pretty easy. I don't know how people could miss that, but I guess it's a possibility.
We then discovered the location where Jonathan Miller was executed before reaching an apartment block where al-Bashir was believed to be hiding. As the assault team moved in, al-Bashir attempted to escape via SUV, but I opened fire and forced the vehicle to crash, allowing us to capture him fatally wounded.
Wanted dead or alive.
Campo was then forced to carry him as we conducted a fighting retreat back to a nearby mall where extraction was located. On the 2nd floor, we held a defensive position against waves of PLR forces, using claymores to hold them back while we waited for exfil. During this section, I encountered the same white screen glitch again, which made it nearly impossible to see enemy positions.
I can't see.
Hold them off for a little bit longer!
I can't see!
Eventually, we successfully extracted with al-Bashir. However, he was already on the verge of death, and before dying, he revealed that Solomon was behind the nuclear plot and worked with multiple factions to move the weapons. This left us with a new lead on arms dealer Amir Kafarov, who was believed to be connected to Solomon. A week later, we headed into northern Iran to capture Kafarov at his coastal villa near the Caspian Sea. On the way, Misfit 1-3 is ambushed by Russian forces. While fighting through the forest, I managed to melee an enemy and collect a dog tag, earning a miscellaneous trophy.
Does that count? It did. What the hell are you? That was pretty easy. I'm glad I could get that miscellaneous trophy done on hard. Don't have to come back for it.
As we made our way up the hill, we encountered a massive presence of Russian airborne units being dropped into the area. Despite the chaos, we pushed forward and engaged a battalion-sized force, including multiple tanks. And just when we thought it was over, a ground attack jet began engaging our position. And here there was a chance to earn another trophy. This one required me to take the jet down in a single attempt without dying or failing the checkpoint. Despite the fact that the trophy looked intimidating on paper, I managed to complete it on my very first try.
Oh god. I did it. First try. We good? Butterfly, oh my god. That was one of the trophies I was scared of. Oh my god, are they dead? Oh no.
During the attack, 2 of Blackburn's squad mates were killed, damaging his relationship with the squad leader. The next mission returns us to Dima and the GRU team as they raid Amir Kafarov's coastal villa in search of information on the nuclear devices. The assault begins with a skydive insertion, followed by a violent push through the compound as we clear out Kafarov's forces. During the infiltration, I completed a simple trophy by headshotting all the targets in the shooting range in the basement of the villa.
Did I do it? Practice makes perfect. Okay, that was another miscellaneous trophy there.
Eventually, we reached the helipad where Kafarov attempted to escape, leading to a final pursuit that ended with him being captured and interrogated.
No escape.
The game quickly flips to Blackburn's perspective as he and what's left of his squad mates arrive at the villa. Blackburn finds Dima, who informs him of Solomon's plans. Agreeing to help Dima stop Solomon, Blackburn shoots his commanding officer, which is the reason he was being investigated in the present day. From here, we return to the present day, where Blackburn, along with a fellow Marine, managed to break out of the interrogation room and attempt to chase after Solomon. This is where the prologue began, and we play through the very same train sequence. Blackburn fights through the train, reaches Solomon, and after a final confrontation, the bomb on the train gets detonated.
Who are you with? Huh?
Nice. Oh.
You're good, soldier. You are good. What's next? I'm not afraid to die. How about you? Help!
Blackburn and Solomon survive, and the chase continues in the sewers. Once getting to the surface, Montez arrives with a stolen police car and picks Blackburn up. After a short chase, the car crashes, and it was time for the final boss fight, and here I needed to beat Solomon during the QuickTime event without failing any inputs.
Hit him.
He's coming. He's coming.
Uh-oh.
Go. Who dies first? You'll never win!
Oh no. Oh. Oh, nice. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. The nuke. Told you. They didn't listen. Between a rock and a hard place. After disabling the nuclear threat, the game flashes back to Dima, reflecting on everything that has occurred. After this cutscene, I earned 2 trophies for completing every mission on hard, as well as for completing the campaign as a whole. Semper Fidelis. I think that's for beating it on hard. And hoorah. Or maybe it's vice versa, I don't know. Nonetheless, the hard playthrough is done. While the story was complete, I still had 2 more trophies left to earn. I first went back to the Paris mission to complete the street chase trophy, which required me to finish the chase in under 2 minutes and 30 seconds without dying. Thankfully, on easy difficulty, this was much easier, and I managed to complete it on my first attempt. Guys, not like this. Literally anything but this. I can't believe I almost died there. Oof. The professional. There we go. I was scared it wasn't going to pop. I was wondering why it was taking a little bit, but it did.
Now the only trophy left was to complete going hunting with a perfect run. This was definitely one of, if not the most difficult trophy in the entire campaign. So I used a guide and synced my gameplay with it to know exactly when to use flares and when to take out the enemy jets. And after a few attempts and some trial and error, I finally managed to earn one of the most annoying campaign trophies in Battlefield history.
2 more. 1 more. Let's go! I think I did it. Second try. I hope. Please. 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 I can't do that again. Come on. Please. Yes! You can be my wingman anytime. Thank you. Oh my god. That one earlier took me a while. When I went back to it, it took me 2 tries. But that beginning part, that intro is 5 minutes long. So every time you mess up, you have to go back 5 minutes and then you can finally try again. It's awful.
I know I said this about Bad Company 1 and 2, but playing through Battlefield 3 was another incredibly nostalgic experience. While I didn't remember everything from my first playthrough, there were definitely moments I recognized, like infiltrating Kafarov's villa. And it probably shouldn't be surprising, but the gunplay and mechanics felt much better compared to the previous 2 games. Given that Battlefield 3 was a big step towards the more cinematic military shooter style of the era, it made sense why this game felt like such a big evolution for the series. The story had a lot of similarities to the early Modern Warfare campaigns, which didn't necessarily make it the most unique experience, but it was still a fun campaign with some great moments. The trophies were definitely a bit more challenging this time around, which was a sign of what was to come with the later Battlefield titles. Overall, it was great returning to Battlefield 3 for the first time in 13 years, and it really helped set the foundation for the games that followed. So, without further ado, let's move on to the next game, Battlefield 4. Now that the multiplayer section of the base game was complete, it was time to move on to the campaign. Like most Battlefield games, there were collectibles and miscellaneous trophies in every single mission. So to avoid having to do multiple playthroughs, I decided to play on hard difficulty, since the difficulty trophy stacked, while also making sure I found every collectible and completed every mission specific trophy along the way. So without further ado, let's get into the first mission, Baku. The campaign takes place in 2020 with tensions between the United States, Russia, and China reaching an all-time high. I played as Sergeant Daniel Recker, a member of the Special Operations Unit Tombstone, whose mission was to stop Chinese Admiral Chang from starting a new war. The mission starts off with Tombstone trapped inside a vehicle underwater, seemingly in their final moments. After shooting the windshield, the game flashes back 14 minutes earlier, where the mission actually begins inside of a school. Here I found my first dog tag collectible and regrouped with the squad. After helping the last member of the team, Irish, escape from the Russian attackers, we made our way to an extraction site nearby. Inside the school, there were 2 more collectibles to find. And as you saw earlier, dog tags were one type of collectible in Battlefield 4, but there was also unique weapons hidden throughout each mission that also counted as collectibles. So there were quite a few items I needed to find throughout the campaign. When I first played the game back in 2015, I had already found 3 collectibles which unlocked the trophy Stumbled Over It. And it looks like the game still remembered that progress, because after finding another dog tag in the school, I reached my 6th collectible and unlocked the next trophy.
There we go. It was on the way.
Before escaping the school, we found an explosives crate where I picked up some C4, which was related to this mission's miscellaneous trophy. After leaving the school, we came across a construction site filled with enemies. Here I used the C4 to take out the enemies and continued through the mission. While fighting through the area, I also reached 7,000 points in the mission. Battlefield 4 introduced a new campaign point system where killing enemies and destroying vehicles would give you points. Each mission had 3 assignment tiers, bronze, silver, and gold, with each one requiring a certain amount of points. Completing these assignments was required for multiple trophies and also unlocked new weapons. Most of the point-based trophies required around 1,000 more points than the gold assignment for each mission, so they definitely required some extra work. By reaching 7,000 points and getting 10 enemy kills with C4, I was able to complete 2 objectives at once and earn the mission's miscellaneous trophy.
Dunn's Pride. I think that's for points. Still need the 10 though. There we go. Well placed. I was going to say that has to be it right there. After making it through the construction site, we arrived at a factory where our extraction was supposed to land. However, we were immediately attacked by an enemy helicopter which destroyed the roof and our extraction vehicle. We then had to help our squad mate Dunn escape from the rubble, which required us to make a pretty brutal decision. After stealing a car, we attempted to escape from the attacking helicopter. Eventually, after taking it down, the helicopter crashed in front of us, forcing us off the road, and this brought us back to where the game began. Underwater. With Dunn already badly injured, he became stuck in the back seat and we were forced to leave him behind. This ultimately concluded the first mission and earned me the trophy Fishing in Baku, which I had actually already earned back in 2015. In the following cutscene, we learned that the intel we recovered revealed Admiral Chang was planning a military coup in China. However, we also found out that the United States already knew this, meaning Dunn had died for nothing. When Tombstone returned to the USS Valkyrie, Captain Garrison informed us that China's presidential candidate Jin Jie had been assassinated, and Chang had convinced China that the United States was responsible. Because of this, Tombstone was sent to Shanghai to rescue 3 VIPs: CIA agent Kovich, a Chinese Secret Service agent named Hannah, and her husband. And fulfilling Dunn's final request, Wrecker was promoted to squad leader. Once arriving in Shanghai, we made our way on foot to the hotel where the VIPs were located. Once inside an elevator, Pac handed me a weapon which also counted as a collectible, and this gave me my 9th collectible and unlocked another trophy. Took a casual look around. As we took the elevator to the upper floors, we accidentally stopped at the wrong level and immediately got into a firefight. During this fight, I managed to get my first multi-kill of the mission, which was tied to one of the hardest miscellaneous trophies in the game. This trophy required me to get 10 multi-kills in the mission, and the difficult part was that the kills had to happen within a very short time window. If the multiple kills message didn't appear on the screen, it didn't count, so I had to make sure enemies were close to each other before attacking and be very quick with my shots. As we made our way to the VIPs, we got into several more firefights, and I was able to pick up a few more multi-kills along the way. Eventually, we reached the room and I found another weapon collectible outside, bringing my total to 12 collectibles. Done some searching. Next, we escorted the VIPs to the rooftop where a helicopter was waiting for their escape. While fighting through the enemies on the roof, I finally managed to get my 10th multi-kill and complete the mission-specific trophy. I think that's 10. Wrecker. There we go. Pretty easy. After clearing out the rooftop, we made our way down to street level, where we had to escape from what felt like the entire Chinese military, including a tank. While making our way to the waterfront, I also reached 11,000 points in the mission. A one-man riot. I think that's for 11,000 points that I needed. Eventually, we reached a military checkpoint and were attacked by 2 tanks. Thankfully, they weren't too difficult to take down, and after destroying them, we made it to the water. We then used a tourist boat to make our way back to the Valkyrie. But as we escaped, an electromagnetic pulse went off, disabling all electronics in the area, including the boat. Realizing there were other survivors stranded nearby, I rushed to help guide them back to the Valkyrie, ending the second mission. Wolves in sheep's clothing. That was a fun mission. I like that. The scenery's pretty cool. Once back aboard the Valkyrie, Captain Garrison sets a course for the USS Titan, which would be used to house the refugees. While on the ship, I found another collectible, bringing my total to 15. Methodical search. Upon arriving at the Titan, we discovered that the ship had been heavily damaged after being attacked by Chang's forces. Because the Titan was sinking, Garrison sent Tombstone along with Kovic as acting squad leader to search the wreckage for survivors and any important intel. After exploring the ship for a while, we recovered a hard drive that revealed what happened before the attack. However, we were soon interrupted by Chinese soldiers who had boarded the ship. After fighting our way through the enemies, the damage to the Titan became too much, and the ship eventually started breaking apart, forcing us to abandon it. While escaping the sinking ship, I found another collectible, bringing my total up to 18. No stone left unturned. After fighting through the flight deck, we hijacked an assault boat and started making our way back to the Valkyrie. Along the way, I destroyed multiple enemy boats and reached 11,000 points in the mission. Terror of the Deep. That was super easy. Once back on the Valkyrie, I also managed to get my 30th headshot, which unlocked the mission's miscellaneous trophy. Here we go. I think. Yep. Bloodwake. Again, very, very easy. If you pick marksman rifle, sniper rifle, everything's one hit. So, not bad at all.
While fighting our way back to the bridge, we found Hannah, who joined us. On the flight deck, Kovic was critically injured while defending the ship from Chinese forces. This resulted in Wrecker taking command of Tombstone again before Kovic eventually died. After that, we cleared the bridge and rescued Garrison and Hannah's husband, finishing another mission.
The Fall of a Titan. That was a pretty fun mission. It had a lot of different aspects to it. Driving, swimming, RPGs, everything. It was a little bit long too. I didn't like the introductory section. It reminded me of Battlefield 3. The airplane.
At the beginning of the next mission, Garrison briefed Tombstone on their next mission, assaulting a Chinese-controlled airfield in Singapore. The goal was to destroy China's air superiority while their aircrafts were grounded by a massive storm. Hannah also volunteered to join Tombstone, much to Irish's disapproval. We then began the assault onto the beach, where I found another collectible, bringing my total to 21.
Every nook and cranny. I like how there's like a trophy for every 3 collectibles. Definitely not necessary, but you know, it definitely increases the trophy count, so that's cool.
After pushing through the beach, we advanced toward the airfield with support from the US Marine tanks. Of course, the Chinese forces weren't going to make it easy, and we were soon attacked by enemy tanks. Instead of using my tank, I took them out with an RPG, and after getting 15 kills with the RPG, I unlocked the mission-specific trophy.
War Turtle. Thank God. I'm done using the RPG. That sucked.
Eventually, we reached the bridge leading to the airfield, and while trying to cross, I got pinned down by a vehicle that was pushed into me by the extreme winds. Tombstone then tried to help me break free, but before we could do anything, a massive freighter crashed into the bridge, throwing us into the water below. Luckily, we survived and made our way to the airfield through a sewer. While fighting through the hangar, I also reached 20,000 points in the mission.
Come on. Stormbringer. That one I did not want to go back for. This seems like a pretty long mission. So glad that one is done.
After clearing the hangar, Pack fired the signal flare and Tombstone attempted to escape using an enemy vehicle. However, we were hit by friendly fire, which left Pack seemingly dead and knocked Wrecker and Irish unconscious. Then, in a major twist, Hannah betrayed the squad and led Chinese soldiers straight to us, resulting in Tombstone being captured.
He knew. He knew.
Sorry, Wrecker. Couldn't be any other way.
Why? Braving the storm. Why did she do that?
After being captured, Wrecker and Irish were taken to a prison where they were interrogated by Admiral Chang about their mission in Shanghai. Afterwards, they were thrown into a prison cell. Wrecker was later awakened by Dima, a Russian prisoner suffering from radiation poisoning after the nuclear explosion in Paris 6 years earlier. Dima was also one of the main characters from Battlefield 3, so this was a pretty cool return to the series. The two of us then broke out of the cell and attempted to free the other prisoners, including Irish, starting a massive riot. And while making our way to the cell control tower, I managed to get 5 kills with the shank and unlock the mission's miscellaneous trophy.
I think this is 5. I survived. Shawshank. Yes, that was 5. That one's very easy.
Shortly after, I found another collectible, bringing my total to 28.
Recon. I don't think I have many more collectibles left.
After freeing Irish and the rest of the prisoners, the riot escalated as we tried to escape, and while this mission was definitely cool, I couldn't help but notice some similarities to the Vorkuta mission from Black Ops 1. And I can't lie, this version felt like a cheap ripoff, but still seeing Dima return was a nice touch, but Reznov definitely clears. Nonetheless, as the prison was overrun, the Chinese military arrived and started attacking. Wrecker and Irish held them off long enough for Dima to open the prison gates, but we were soon caught by Hannah and the Chinese soldiers. However, Hannah turned on the soldiers that were holding us at gunpoint and explained that her real mission was to protect Jin Jie, who had been pretending to be her husband. Irish wasn't exactly happy about her betrayal, but for now, we had to work together. We then made our way toward a tram that would take us down the mountain. On the way there, we had to fight through more enemies, and I managed to reach 12,000 points in the mission.
Gladiator. Let's go, another one down.
After clearing the area, we finally reached the cable car, but of course it was too good to be true as the tram was shot down by an enemy helicopter, resulting in Dima's death.
You guys okay?
Dima?
I'll live. Russian dude's dead.
No. Poor Dima.
At least he died free.
That was a pretty crazy mission. Dead by dawn. R.I.P. Dima. He was so excited to have freedom and then he dies. It's so unfortunate. That's tragic. He made it through the first game though, so.
Personally, I wasn't a fan of how Dima's death was handled, especially given that he played such a big role in Battlefield 3. It honestly felt like a pretty underwhelming way to end his story. Nonetheless, Tombstone was forced to continue on foot for 2 days, making their way down the mountain while searching for food and supplies. Eventually, we found a jeep and made our way to Tashkar, which was currently under attack by both Chinese and Russian forces. After a close call with a Russian tank, we come across a group of US soldiers who explained that the city was under siege. It turns out that the rest of the US forces were on the other side of the city, so we needed to fight our way through enemy forces to reach them, and this is where I started working on the mission's miscellaneous trophy, which required me to get 10 adrenaline kills. This meant I had to get 10 kills while being below 20 health. On hard difficulty, this was much easier said than done. My strategy was to stay out in the open, take enough damage to drop my health below 20, and then quickly land a headshot before my health started recovering. This was extremely difficult and took a lot of attempts, but eventually I managed to get all 10 adrenaline kills and unlock the trophy.
Let's go. Infiltrator. That one was hard. That's definitely the hardest challenge, and it's the last one, I think. Oh my god.
After fighting through Old Town, we eventually found Major Greenland, who explained that the Russian anti-air system was giving them a huge advantage. To turn the fight around, Tombstone volunteered to destroy the Tashkar Dam, flooding the area and taking out the enemy forces. After reaching the dam, we cleared out the enemies on the surface and made our way inside. While navigating through the dam, I took out more enemies and reached 15,000 points in the mission.
Demolition Man. Very happy I got this done during my first attempt because going back to this mission would be rough. By far the longest mission, it's not particularly close.
After planting the charges and setting them off, the dam started collapsing and we fell into the river. After waking up, we reconnected with Major Greenland and we were sent to the Suez Canal to continue the fight.
Antediluvian? Antediluvian? Is that how you say it? I don't know.
Now it was time for the final mission. After being paradropped onto the Valkyrie, which was sailing straight into Admiral Chang's forces, Tombstone needed to help clear the deck of the boarding Chinese soldiers. After taking out all the enemies on the deck, we made our way inside the ship where we found Pak, who somehow survived Singapore. Now our goal was to find Garrison and Jin Jie. While fighting through the ship and searching for them, I reached 6,000 points in the mission, earning my final point-based assignment or gold medal of the campaign.
Yes! Guardian of the Fleet. The final point-related trophy I needed. Now I don't have to worry about that on any of my other playthroughs, so thank God.
After clearing out the enemies inside the ship, we finally found Garrison and Jin Jie. When the Chinese forces reached the medical bay, Jin Jie revealed himself and proved that he was still alive. This ended the confusion between the United States, Russia, and China, and the Chinese forces called off their attack. However, Chang refused to give up and attacked the Valkyrie with his warship. With no way to fight back, Tombstone volunteered to plant explosives on the warship and destroy it themselves. So after driving a boat to the warship, we placed the charges and used grappling guns to bring us to safety before detonating the explosives. However, the remote detonation failed, leaving Wrecker, Irish, and Hannah with only one option. Someone had to manually detonate the explosives themselves. And here I had three choices. Let Hannah set the charge, let Irish do it, or do nothing and watch the Valkyrie be destroyed. Since I needed to experience all three endings, I started with Hannah's ending. This resulted in Hannah sacrificing herself, but the Valkyrie was saved. This also unlocked the trophy for choosing her ending, along with the trophies for completing the mission and beating the game on every difficulty.
It's dead! Push the button, Wrecker!
You're gonna kill her!
God damn it! Tombstone!
I had to. But don't worry, she'll live in the next time. Damn.
Life,
For the cause. R.I.P. Hannah. Tombstone. Wolf. Getting a lot of pops here. Guns at dawn. Fish. Still going?
Before experiencing the first ending, I decided to back up my save using cloud save so I wouldn't have to replay the entire mission multiple times. However, this ended up being a mistake, and I'll explain why in a bit. Next, I reloaded the save and chose to let Irish sacrifice himself.
Irish, it's your turn, buddy.
When the detonator goes green, you push that button, Wrecker.
I got you.
Irish!
No.
It's set, ready to go! Come
What is she shooting at now? She's shooting at the water. Sorry, Irish. R.I.P. Irish. He was a good dude. A little crazy, but he was a good dude. R.I.P.
We did what we had to do, Wrecker.
We did.
His life was
For the
better
people. Rest in peace, Irish.
Finally, I reloaded the save one more time and chose to do nothing, saving both Hannah and Irish.
I'm giving it to no one. Nope. Oh. Damn.
Oh my god. Valkyrie's gone. We blew it.
Poor Tombstone.
We're survivors.
We are.
Tombstone.
No survivors.
We are the survivors.
You're the only ones left.
I just said that.
After experiencing all 3 endings, I should have unlocked the remaining campaign trophies, including completing all assignments and finding all collectibles, but none of them popped. After checking my campaign progress, I saw that I was still missing 3 assignments. The game claimed I had not completed all 3 endings or reached the required point totals in 2 missions, even though I had already done all of these things. So I wasn't sure what was going on, and I started looking through my other progress. That's when I noticed that even though I had found all the weapon collectibles, there were still a few weapons that could only be obtained from enemies that dropped them. I can't confirm if these weapons were required for the platinum, but I decided to collect them anyway. After spending another 3 hours finding the remaining weapons and replaying the 2 missions where I was quote-unquote missing points, the trophies still didn't pop. So, in the end, I had no choice but to replay the entire final mission twice more with different endings. And finally, after all that, the final 4 trophies finally popped.
We blew it.
Listen to me.
Yes, above and beyond the call. Thank God.
Can't kill
And
us.
patience is a virtue. And I think the last 2. Oh, full arsenal. There we go. And that should be the platinum trophy. Other than the 2 hours I spent trying to figure out why this wasn't working, this was a pretty easy campaign. Nothing was really too difficult. I mean, there's a few sections, some of the challenges were a little bit difficult, but other than that, it was quite easy, which was good to see.
Now that the multiplayer trophies were out of the way, it was time to move on to the campaign. I already had a little experience with Hardline's campaign going into this playthrough. Back in 2022, I played through the first 3 chapters on PC and earned 12 achievements. However, since then, I never actually finished the game, so today was essentially my first full playthrough. Like most Battlefield games, I needed to complete the game on the highest difficulty. However, Hardline difficulty is locked until beating the game on Veteran or Officer difficulty. Since the difficulty trophy stack, I started my playthrough on Veteran. The game begins with the main character, Nick Mendoza, being transported on a prison bus. After a short conversation with a guard, the game flashes back 3 years earlier where Mendoza and his partner Carl are investigating a drug bust. Things quickly go wrong, and after taking out everyone inside the hotel room, we manage to spot the last suspect and chase him through the streets of Miami. And after stopping his car and arresting him, the prologue comes to an end.
On the job. I think this game's going to be pretty fun. It's definitely going to be different from the other Battlefield games, but I think it's going to be fun.
In the first episode, called Back to School, Captain Julian Dawes partners Nick with another officer named Kai to follow a lead on a drug broker named Tyson Latchford. While searching through the neighborhood, we are introduced to the game's main mechanics, including freezing suspects with my badge, taking down enemies, stealth, and using distractions. After this tutorial section, we locate Tyson's associate, Tap, and force him to wear a wire so we can track down Tyson. This leads us to a school where Tyson is supposedly located. Here, we are introduced to the scanner, which is essential for finding evidence and warrants throughout the game. While Tap was inside talking to Tyson, another group arrives and starts attacking everyone inside. And after scanning them as well as everyone inside of the school, I earned a trophy.
Motley Crew.
Who the hell is this?
Let's go.
Now we needed to find Tap and Tyson before they were killed. One of the enemies that arrived also had a warrant, and throughout each mission there were multiple suspects with warrants that needed to be arrested without killing them for a future trophy. Once leaving the rooftop, I captured my first warrant, and while making my way to Tap, I also managed to stun 5 criminals with the taser.
I think that's 5. You tased him, bro. I know I did.
When we reached the room where Tap was supposedly talking to Tyson, both of them were gone. However, inside I found my first pieces of evidence, and after scanning everything, I completed my first case file.
Keep digging, detective. Let's go.
After searching the room further, we discovered the existence of a new drug called Hotshot. We also learned that Tyson was never actually there and Tap was only speaking to him through a video call. After tracking Tyson's location, we arrive at his house, only for more enemies to attack. During the fight, Kai is shot and wounded in the shoulder. After holding off the attackers, the first episode comes to an end.
It's kind of crazy.
Detective, do you know this man?
Oh, him? He does spreadsheets.
Crazy first mission. Pressure applied. Pressure applied indeed. I like how the next episode gives you a countdown as well. It feels like I'm watching a TV show.
Episode 2, Checking Out, takes place a few weeks later after Kai recovered from her injuries. Dawes orders Nick and Kai to meet with a man named Leo Ray at the Elmore Hotel. Leo claims he has information about the drug war, offering to give them information on a major dealer named Remy Neltz in exchange for police protection. However, after realizing Dawes himself didn't show up, Leo cancels the deal and attempts to leave. Things quickly go wrong when Neltz's men arrive and open fire on Leo and the two detectives. Now we needed to chase Leo through the hotel while taking down every enemy in our way. During the chase, I also managed to get my 10th non-lethal takedown.
By the book.
After fighting through the hotel, we catch up to Leo, where he is being beaten by Kai. Nick stops her and tells her that they need to leave before more of Neltz's men arrive. Unfortunately, they show up before we could leave, and while attempting to arrest a warrant suspect, I also reached expert level 5.
You're getting good at this. This is tough, bro.
After capturing the warrant and clearing out the rest of the enemies, Nick and Kai get Leo into an armored truck and escape while being chased by Neltz's men. Once we lost them, we met up with Dawes, who takes Leo into custody.
Bumpy ride. That was kind of crazy.
In episode 3, called Gator Bait, Leo's information leads Nick and Kai off the books into the Everglades, where drug bales are being dropped. And after placing trackers on a few bales, it was my turn to tag one.
That was crazy.
After tagging the last bale, Kai gives me a grappling hook, and after using it to climb up a tower, I earned a trophy for climbing a total of 10 meters.
Hurts like hell, actually.
Cape and ears not included. Nice, that was pretty easy. Ooh, and a zip line.
Kai also provides me with a zipline gun, which we also use to move throughout the area. After taking out a few enemies and capturing a warrant, we discover a radio with coordinates leading to another group of enemies. Here we learn about alarms and reinforcements, meaning I needed to approach the area stealthily. Luckily, this wasn't too difficult and I managed to disable the alarm while also taking down another warrant suspect. Eventually, we find a shipping container with a phone inside. After checking the messages, we learn that someone is supposed to meet Neltz at a stadium. Following the lead, we arrive at another enemy area where I used the zipline to travel a total of 90 meters.
Alright, this should definitely be 90.
I'll stay put.
Fast rope expert. There we go.
After taking down my final warrants and clearing out the area, we find a shack with a walkie-talkie that confirms Neltz is ready to meet. We then take a boat to the old Miami Aquatic Stadium, where I also managed to disarm my second alarm box.
Nice. Damn thing doesn't work. Pretty easy, there's only 2.
After taking out all of the guards, we finally confront Neltz. However, before he can be captured, he reveals that he made a deal with Carl Stoddard, Nick's former partner, leaving both Nick and Kai confused. Neltz then escapes into a nearby warehouse where the police surrounded the building. Stoddard arrives and plans to send in a SWAT team, but Nick refuses to give up the case and decides to apprehend Neltz himself with Kai. After fighting through the warehouse and reaching Neltz, Stoddard suddenly arrives and shoots him before he can reveal any more information about their deal. Disgusted by what happened, Nick walks away as Stoddard and Kai take some cash before more officers arrive.
Wow. Deal? What deal? That was a fun episode. I really enjoyed that.
In episode 4, Case Closed, a hurricane makes landfall and Dawes reveals that Nick was being tested the entire time. After refusing to take Niltz's money, Nick proved himself to Dawes and Kai. However, they also discovered that Stoddard is dirty, so Dawes sends them back to the crime scene to find evidence against him. Back at the warehouse, Nick finds a recording from Niltz that implicates Stoddard. After finding more clues, Nick and Kai track Stoddard to a toy production warehouse. While Kai checks the toy store at a nearby mall, Nick enters the warehouse to find Stoddard. Once inside, Nick discovers Stoddard meeting with what appears to be Niltz's crew. Stoddard heads downstairs, forcing Nick to follow. Before chasing after him, I found more evidence, which completed my third case file.
True Detective. Got a new AR for that.
While making my way through the basement and taking down Niltz's men, I arrested a group of 2 suspects and reached expert level 10.
Pretty easy. Almost an expert. I think I need to get to 15. I'm already on 10 in the 4th mission, so 15 will not be a challenge at all.
Eventually, Nick finds Stoddard, but before he can arrest him, they are forced to work together as Niltz's men begin attacking. After fighting our way outside, we get a call from Kai saying she's under attack at the mall. Now, we needed to rescue her. After fighting through more enemies, we find Kai inside the toy store and manage to escape. Outside, we meet back up with Dawes and everything falls apart. Dawes destroys the evidence against Stoddard and reveals that he and Kai are both corrupt, with Stoddard acting under his orders the entire time. Because Nick refuses to go along with their plan, they betray him, frame him for laundering Niltz's drug money, and arrest him.
Good guys. That was crazy.
It turns out that the first 4 episodes were actually a flashback. In episode 5, Gauntlet is the first mission taking place in the present day. The episode picks up right where the opening cutscene left off, with Nick still on the prison bus 3 years later. While being transported, Tap from the first episode is sitting in front of us and warns Nick that something is about to happen. Moments later, Tyson arrives and plants an explosive on the bus, allowing the prisoners to escape. After Tap unlocks Nick's handcuffs, he tells Nick to meet Tyson at a water tower across town. This episode actually had 3 trophies I needed to earn: escaping without being spotted, stealing a taser from a police cruiser, and blowing up a meth lab. So I began my journey towards the water tower. Despite the area being heavily guarded by police, I was able to sneak through the first few sections pretty easily. I eventually found a police cruiser and managed to steal the taser when the officers weren't looking.
Okay, their own medicine. Nice. Now I need to go destroy a meth lab.
On the way to the meth lab, I was spotted, but after reloading the checkpoint, I was able to get past the officers and reach the lab. Once there, I blew it up, creating a distraction that gave me a clear path to the water tower.
Knock knock. I don't think that counts as me being spotted.
When I reached the water tower, Tyson revealed that he needed me to speak with someone else. However, this person was located down a hill that was heavily guarded by police and patrolled by a few helicopters. This was definitely the most difficult part of the mission because I needed to avoid being spotted, and of course I got spotted a few times. But of course, every time I got spotted, I made sure to quickly reload the checkpoint, and after a few attempts, I eventually made it through the area and reunited with Tyson at an old mine shaft. Here we learned that the person behind Nick's escape was none other than Kai. Despite still being angry about her betrayal, Nick decides to team up with Kai and Tyson to take down Dawes.
Did I do it? You probably have questions.
After completing the mission, the trophy for escaping without being spotted didn't pop. Apparently reloading checkpoints didn't count, but since I now knew the route, I was confident I could get the trophy pretty easily, and I was right. On my second try, I made it to Kai without being spotted once, earning my next trophy.
Come on, I did it perfectly. Graceful exit, thank God. That was my second try. I should have done it on the first try. But, you know, I'll take it. I'll take 2 tries.
At the beginning of episode 6, Out of Business, we learned that during the 3 years Nick was in prison, Dawes created a private law enforcement company called Preferred Outcomes. After quote-unquote cleaning up Miami, Dawes is now expanding into other cities, starting with Los Angeles. Wanting to take down Dawes, Kai sends Nick and Tyson to meet with Marcus Boomer Boone, an IP specialist who has information on Dawes. The meeting location, a car dealership, turns out to be a front for a drug operation run by Henry Kang, a major crime lord in Los Angeles. However, Boomer is nowhere to be found. While trying to download data from a computer, we are attacked by Kang's men and are forced to fight our way out. Once getting back to our car, we make our way to one of Kang's warehouses. After taking out the enemies outside, we find Boomer in the trunk of a car that was about to be crushed. Boomer tells us that his laptop was taken, so now we needed to retrieve it. After fighting through more of Kang's men, I managed to recover Boomer's laptop and escape with Boomer and Tyson while still being chased. After a long chase sequence, we learn that Kang plans on investing in preferred outcomes, so Nick decides to end his operation for good. Tracking Kang to another warehouse, we find him and his drug supply. After taking down Kang, Tyson estimates the drugs are worth nearly $10 million. With police closing in, Tyson attempts to move the drugs with a forklift, but gets stuck on train tracks as a train approaches. Forced to abandon the drugs, the train crashes through and destroys the entire supply.
Not a word.
Snowblind. That was pretty hilarious, I'm not gonna lie.
In episode 7, Glass Houses, Boomer uses Kong's data to find a party invite sent to Kong, with many of the attendees being major drug and crime kingpins. Nick and Kai head to the house of drug kingpin Neil Rourke to investigate. Once inside, we plant a bug on a statue and hide while waiting for the meeting to begin. It turns out that Rourke is meeting with Stoddard and other Los Angeles crime lords. After the meeting, Nick comes up with a plan to steal Daz's money before he can launder it. He uses Kai's phone as a tracking device by hiding it in a briefcase that will be taken to the money's location. After agreeing, Kai then decides to split up and go after Stoddard herself. While making my way to the pool house where one of the briefcases is located, I found Rourke's hidden room.
Oh. Hollywood Hideaway. Nice little hidden door.
After getting outside, I also managed to use a barbecue to take out the chef.
BYOB.
And right after, I reached expert level 15.
One good cop. Expert level 15, let's go.
Once I reached the pool house and planted the phone, Rourke appeared on a big screen and revealed that he had sent his men after me. While Rourke was confronting me, Kai pressed him in person and knocked him out. Now I had to survive against the incoming attackers until Kai could return. Despite being on veteran difficulty, this section wasn't as bad as I expected, and I was able to hold out until Kai arrived and saved me.
My god. Ugh. Okay. Shout out to her.
After tonight, Stoddard's gonna be coming after us.
Holly Weird. That was a pretty easy one.
Episode 8, Sovereign Land, was by far one of the wildest chapters and definitely one of my favorites. After discovering that Daz's money is stored inside a high security vault in his corporate HQ skyscraper in Miami, Boomer contacts an old associate who has a safe cracking robot called the Brute. He and Nick travel to the desert to meet Boomer's contact, his ex-girlfriend Dune Alpert. Dune arranges a meeting with her father, Tony Alpert, but he betrays us after revealing he knows Nick is an escaped felon and that Stoddard has put a $250,000 bounty on him. Now we had to escape Alpert's bunker and retrieve our gear from Alpert's compound. This part actually had a trophy attached to it where I needed to find the weapons before starting combat in the trailer park. Given there were multiple ways to approach this area, it was actually pretty easy, and I managed to get my weapons without being spotted.
Okay. A craftsman's tools. That was very easy, thankfully.
In the trailer park, Nick discovers that Alpert was behind the creation of the hotshot drug and was responsible for the murder of an ATF agent. Dune eventually returns and helps Nick and Boomer escape to an abandoned airfield. However, because Alpert had placed a tracker on Dune, his men were able to find our location and force us off the road. Now trapped at a gas station, we had to survive Alpert's ambush. After holding them off, Dune goes her own way while Nick and Boomer continue to the airfield. There, Nick uses an old aircraft to clear the runway with its turrets. Once I retrieve the Brute, Tony shows up for one last fight and challenges Nick to a tank duel. This was absolutely insane, but after defeating him, Nick and Boomer escape in the OV-10 Bronco that Boomer repaired, ending one of the craziest episodes in the game.
From their cold dead hands. That was insane, but I loved it.
Episode 9, Independence Day, starts off crazy as Kai, Nick, Boomer, and Tyson prepare to leave for Miami. However, they are ambushed by Stoddard and his men. Before Stoddard can execute Nick, I manage to take him out and send a picture of his body to Daz to let him know what happened. After this, we arrive in Miami and begin infiltrating Preferred Outcomes HQ. After making our way through the lower floors, we reach the upper levels where Daz's vault is located. While scanning the area and looking for a way through the guards, I managed to identify my 10th warrant with the scanner.
Watched dog. Okay, I guess that was the 10th person I've scanned. Doesn't feel like 10, but you know, I'll take it.
Once we reach the vault, Boomer starts drilling into it while waves of enemies close in on our location. After surviving the 2 waves of enemies, we finally breached the vault, only to discover that Dawes booby-trapped it, and the explosion ends up leaving Tyson gravely injured. Nick then answers Kai's phone and hears Dawes on the other end, inviting him to come find him at the island of Santa Rosita off the coast of Florida. But before we could leave for the island, we had to escape the penthouse. While ziplining to our escape boat, a helicopter destroys the line and sends Nick and Kai falling. Somehow we end up falling back toward the penthouse, and I managed to take out one of the guards mid-air.
Oh, I did get it. Real action hero. I wasn't sure if I actually killed him, but I did. Nice.
After hanging from the line and eventually falling to the ground, we fight our way through the streets to the boat where the mission comes to an end.
Alright, one more mission. Some damn fine fireworks.
Now it was time for the 10th and final episode, Legacy. After arriving at Santa Rosita, Nick splits from the group and infiltrates the island alone, telling Kai to get Tyson to a doctor as quickly as possible. While making my way to Dawes' mansion, I managed to capture my final Warren alive.
Bring him to justice. That one's kind of tedious. It makes this playthrough a little bit slower than I would have liked, but that's okay. At least that's done.
Using a grappling hook, I found a secret access point into the mansion grounds.
Social climber. I guess that was the secret entrance. Interesting.
Once inside, I found the last piece of evidence which completed my final case file.
World's greatest detective. Let's go. That's going to make the second playthrough much easier. I can kind of just blow by now.
After stealthily making my way through the mansion, I finally reached Dawes' office and confronted him.
Impressive technique, but completely unnecessary, detective. I'm unarmed.
I highly doubt that. Hey! Keep your hands where I can see them.
Seriously, Nick? What are you gonna do, arrest me? Look around! You're all alone, Nick. Wonder why?
My friends had somewhere else to be.
No, you sent them away. You see, I think you finally figured out who you really are. You're just like me. More criminal than cop.
You know what? You're right.
How's your mother, Nick?
Deserved. Valid.
After taking down Dawes, I searched his office and found a letter addressed to Nick explaining why he framed him 3 years earlier. Following the message, I found a secret path to Dawes' underground vault which contained his laundered fortune. The letter ended by asking Nick what he would do with all the money.
Now what are you gonna do with it?
Rich forever. Wow. Served cold. That was a good ending. I enjoyed that. Super cop. Case closed. Now I have to beat the entire game again on the hardest difficulty that is now unlocked.
With the veteran playthrough complete, I now needed to replay all 10 episodes on Hardline difficulty. Thankfully, because I completed the game on veteran, I unlocked the M240B, which made dealing with enemies much easier. Along with being able to customize my loadout before and during missions, Hardline difficulty was actually much easier than expected, and I made it all the way back to episode 10 without any major issues. This time, instead of using the secret entrance into the mansion, I needed to use a dirt bike to jump the gate, and after doing so, I earned my final miscellaneous trophy.
Daredevil, there we go. It popped that time. That was easy. I'm glad it popped. I did not want to go back and like backup saves or whatever.
After confronting Dawes one final time, I finished the game on Hardline difficulty and earned the Platinum Trophy.
Let's go. Super easy, thankfully. Blue Eagle and the Platinum Trophy.
Now it's time for my favorite part of the Platinum, the campaign and war stories. Since I had previously played the campaign on normal difficulty, it was time to play it on hard, which would grant me a trophy at the end. The first war story was called Through Mud and Blood. This war story was about Danny Edwards, who was a new driver for a tank named Black Bess for the British Army. In the first mission, titled Over the Top, you were driving through muddy and destroyed towns fighting German infantry. The mission had 5 field manuals to pick up, and 3 challenges consisting of destroying all field guns, which wasn't too hard, defeating 5 enemies while on foot, and collecting all field manuals during the mission. I also got a combat trophy called Shockwave for killing 5 enemies with dynamite. I guess I had already gotten a few on my first playthrough because I only needed a couple before I got the trophy. They'll never expect it. That's 1. Oh, that's 5. All I needed was 1 more. Oh, okay. After destroying all field guns and picking up all the field manuals, all I had to do was kill 5 enemies on foot, which I forgot about and had to go back for. Oh, look at that shot. Oh, I'm nasty. There we go. That's 1 to 5. There it is. Nice. There we go. I got all of them. It's actually him. There we go. Next mission was called Fog of War. After our tank was bombarded with friendly rockets at the end of mission 1, leaving only me and 2 others in the tank able to move on, we had to go alone through the German lines in a foggy forest. This mission actually required 2 playthroughs for the challenges, as one required me to get through the forest without any melee kills, and another requiring me to get through the forest without being detected. Since I was not able to find a silenced weapon, going loud and not getting any melee kills while picking up all the field manuals, my first run was the best option. Yep, that's what we're doing. You got him? Got him. Hell yeah. Success. You don't see Norton, lad? Except this double barrel shotgun. Yep. I like this. Yeah, come get me. Come get me. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, oh. Where are you running? Stop running. Who else is here? I hear him. Where are you at? Oh! Why do you look like that? No. Don't you dare. 1 more, I think. Hey. I think that's it. Oh, here it is. It's so dark. I can't see a thing. That's 2. Hello. Someone's mine. Yep. Oh. Hello. Is that it? So many. Okay, we got 1. What are the challenges? I guess that counts as out of the forest? I guess it is. Yeah, now it's sunny, so. There it is. Alright. Second to last one there. 4. No, that's 5 out of 5. After finishing the mission, I went back to get through the forest without being detected. A little bit down that way. Nope. 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 No. I wasn't spotted, right? We're good. Okay. Oh no. Yeah, what is that? I don't know. It's weird. Someone's over there. Hello. Goodbye. Thank you. Did I do it? There we go.
I got a little nervous. I thought the first guy detected me, but he didn't, and now we are done. After this, it was time for mission 3, Breakdown. After getting through the forest unscathed, the tank finally broke down. Now it was my job to quietly go through a town and collect spare engine parts. On my first playthrough, I had already picked up one of the 5 field manuals as well as completed one of the challenges, which was unmissable. As for the other challenge I had to complete, I had to retrieve all engine parts undetected. This mission also featured a combat trophy called Mightier Than the Shovel, which required me to find the hidden cavalry sword and take down an enemy on the French countryside. You can come up here and kill him with this. That would be a trophy. Here he is. Trophy? There it is. Surprisingly, this was one of the easier missions of the campaign, as I only got detected once or twice.
Nice one. One down, free to go.
Nice. Another? Okay. I got a little scared. I thought someone was detecting me. That's good.
Halfway there.
Alright. Another one undetected. Come on. Yes. Undetected. Last one, right?
That's all of them.
There we go.
Now back to Bess.
Now it was time for the final mission of Through Mud and Blood, Steel on Steel. This mission's field manuals were by far the easiest to find, as each were in the 5 windmills in the mission. For this one, I think what I'm going to do first is get all the field manuals, and apparently they're all in each of these windmills. I'm going to go on foot first, just because the other challenge for this mission is that you can't take damage while in the tank while going through the town. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up all of these, and then I'm going to return to the tank, and then we're just going to go on the outside border, because apparently that's the easiest thing to do. And, I mean, why not cheese it? Alright, that's 2. 3. There we go. One more. There we go. After picking up the final field manual, I got the trophy for unlocking all codex entries in the war story. And Sound of Thunder. And after collecting those, I had one challenge to complete, which was to not take any damage before clearing the village. The easiest way to do this was by not going through the village at all and going on the borders of the map. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do for a platinum. Yes! We did it. The second and final part of this mission was probably the hardest for me on hard difficulty, as I died over and over to opposing tanks. No! Best chance. It missed somehow. Go! After finally destroying the last tank, the war story was over.
Bastard! Don't you go thinking you can drop dead on us now. Fine boys.
Okay. No, Edwards, no. Oh, it's over.
Sorry, Bex.
War Story 2, Friends in High Places, was about Clyde Blackburn, who was impersonating a British officer in the Royal Flying Corps. In the first mission, the only thing I had to do was not lose trail of the plane in front during the chase.
Alright, keep this distance. Hang on, Wignut.
I'm almost there. Did it.
Piece of cake. Handle like the other planes. Less throttle means you can make tighter turns.
Okay.
I'm having fun. You having fun yet, Wignut?
Almost there.
Wilson, and pay attention. Eyes forward.
Almost there. Come on. Almost there.
Good flying, though some of it
I do it.
exactly by the book. So toss the damn book and
I did it.
move a little.
Since this war story mostly consisted of flying, there weren't many field manuals to pick up, which was nice. After taking out German aircrafts at the end of the first mission, my partner and I found an enemy military base, which set the scene for an attack in Mission 2, Total War. Like the first mission, there were no field manuals, so all I had to do was have at least 4 bombers survive a run. And this was not easy on hard difficulty, to say the least.
See you later, Fritz.
Okay, so there's only 3 left now.
Confirm that kill, Wilson. Yeah, kill confirmed.
I only needed 1 more. Should I restart checkpoint?
Hey, we're heads. We're okay. Hold on. Thanks for coming.
No!
Leave me alone!
This one is actually not leaving me alone. It's over. Like, this is impossible.
After failing over and over, I decided to just finish the mission on hard and come back to complete the challenge on easy difficulty.
Like I said, good so far. Almost there, come on. Hit me. Yeah, hit me. We're almost there, come on. Come on. We're so close. We're so close. That's gotta be 4, right? That's 4. First try, that's crazy. Did one blow up? There we go.
After our plane crashed at the end of Mission 2, it was time for one of the coolest missions in the game, Fall from Grace. The objective of this mission was to get to No Man's Land and save my co-pilot and return him to safety. But like many prior missions, I had to reach No Man's Land undetected. The other challenge required me to use tripwires to kill 2 enemies, which I got out of the way before I tried to reach No Man's Land.
Watch this, watch this. Hey guys. Come on! Oh! That counts! That counts! That counts!
While doing this, I collected 4 field manuals.
And here's the last one. Nice. Oh my god. Why did he turn around?
Ich könnte schwören. No Man's Land was a maze of barbed wire, dead bodies, and debris. But I held my course.
How much further is it? I did it.
At the end of Mission 3, Blackburn is court-martialed and is being prepared to be sent back to the US. As he's talking to his co-pilot for the final time, Germans attack London, and Blackburn and his co-pilot get in a plane for one last ride.
Gonna die up there.
Come on, let's do this.
The final mission, Forte et Fidele, had by far the hardest challenge in the game. After getting on top of the blimp and picking up the one and only field manual, I had to destroy 10 aircrafts within 30 seconds while using the stationary weapon. This took a while, but in like every COD game I've played before, I was used to a mission where I had to shoot down airplanes. After many tries, I finally did it and unlocked the trophy, taking down giants.
I did it! Oh my god. Thank god. That was by far the worst thing I've had to do in this game. It's not even close.
War Story 3, Avanti Sovia, was by far the shortest with only 2 missions. This war story featured a soldier in the Italian army who made his way through the Italian Alps, taking down Austro-Hungarian troops in a full set of armor similar to that of a Call of Duty Juggernaut. I thought this one was especially interesting as the Italian forces in war-based video games are hardly ever showcased. Nonetheless, the first mission, O Lavatori, I had only one task: collect all field manuals.
There it is. There we go. There we go, and there we go.
After going through yet another airplane defense section at the end of Mission 1, Austro-Hungarian planes exploded part of the mountain, which set the scene for Mission 2.
No. An avalanche.
As for the challenges, I had to defeat 10 enemies with a sidearm, which was a bit tricky because I no longer had armor, and I didn't have much ammo for the sidearm.
There we go. All I needed was one more.
After getting this done, all I had to do was collect the field manuals, and the war story was over.
And here we go. And there is the trophy. Conquering the mountain.
The penultimate war story, The Runner, featured Frederick Bishop, a message runner in the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps. This was also another short war story as it featured only 3 missions. The first one, Cape Helles, only featured 2 challenges for me to complete: get 10 headshots and collect all field manuals.
There we go. There's 10. 5. Let me in. There we go.
This mission was short and sweet, as all I had to do was storm the beach and secure an objective at the top.
Nice.
Time to send up the flare.
Next mission, The Runner, was exactly as the title states. I had to run back and forth through a town, delivering messages, while also trying to kill 10 enemies with a sidearm, which I had to find in a random shack in the map.
Hello. There we go. That's 10.
And 5 rifle grenades, which, again, I also had to find somewhere in the map.
With this grenade rifle. Perfect. And that's 5.
Aside from going back and forth and defending the objective at the end, this was another simple mission.
Get out of here.
Alright.
The last mission, Be Safe, featured a tough and confusing challenge where I had to defeat 5 enemies with grenades. While this sounds easy, you could only kill 5 people with the first 3 grenades given to you at the start of the mission. I didn't realize this until I completed the mission and had to go back, but first I collected all field manuals and beat the mission on hard.
Where is it? It's right here. Perfect. Okay.
Now it was time to get the grenade kills, and the war story was over.
Oh, this is perfect. They all ran. How many was that? That might have just been 2. Yes! We did it! And there is the trophy.
Now it was time for the final war story, Nothing is Written. This story followed Zara Gufran, a Bedouin warrior who was involved in the Arab revolt against the Ottoman Empire. This was yet another unique perspective that really hadn't been touched on in any other FPS game. In Mission 1, Hidden in Plain Sight, I had to make my way through a bunch of enemies at the site of a crashed train, and successfully secure a book without, you guessed it, being detected, which was actually kinda difficult. Before doing this, I got all the field manuals.
In here? There we go.
As for the one and only challenge, this took a few attempts as I decided that it was pointless to kill most enemies, and instead used distractions to turn them away. This took a few attempts but ultimately was successful, but barely.
Oh, did I do it? Come on. Barely. Barely. I think I did it though. I did it. Oh my goodness.
After that extremely short mission, it was time for one of the longer ones in the game, Young Men's Work. This mission also featured a combat trophy where I had to kill all 3 officers with my knife. Since I only had one challenge to do, I saved the combat trophy for last. After picking up all the field manuals, I completed the only challenge left, which was to kill one of the officers with a tank.
Hello. There we go. After doing this, I restarted the mission and killed each with a knife. How am I gonna get in there? Do I just run? Oh, I just run. Screw it. Hello, my friend. Long door. Hello, buddy. What is he doing? And there it is, the trophy. After the mission was over, Zara was caught by the enemy commander and left in the desert. This set the scene for the final mission of the game, Hear the Desert. When I first played the campaign, I remember this mission in particular giving me the hardest time, but surprisingly, it was quite simple on my second go at it. The premise of the mission was to infiltrate a town filled with enemies and destroy 3 armored trucks. This went along with the only challenge, which was to destroy each while undetected. Alright, that's 1. Alright, that's 2. I did it. Okay, good. I was able to do this with ease, but before I collected the final field manuals, which gave me the trophy enough for a library, it is not top floor, it's actually downstairs. Here it is, in the last one, while I'm being chased by the entire village. And there we go. That's the trophy for getting all the field manuals. After keeping at least 2 field guns operational during the final battle with an enemy train, I got the trophy Master of Adaptation for completing all challenges in the campaign. Now all I had to do was destroy an enemy train and the platinum was mine. Oh, it's done! I did it! Nice! That's all the challenges trophy? I think? No, that one is? Wow. There we go. The war to end all wars. And the platinum. There it is.
Now it's time for the campaign section of Battlefield 5, which, like Battlefield 1, is called War Stories. War Stories consist of 3 stories, each having 3 missions based inside the story. As for the trophies, Battlefield 5 may have the lightest campaign trophies in any FPS I've ever seen. All the game requires is for you to beat all 3 war stories on the hardest difficulty, Hardcore. Yes, that's it. No challenges, no miscellaneous trophies, no collectible trophies, just beat the game on Hardcore. This was honestly disappointing, as I typically look forward to the different challenge-based and miscellaneous trophies in FPS campaigns. But of course, I won't complain, as beating the game on Hardcore will be a piece of cake. The first war story, called Under No Flag, follows a British convict named Billy Bridger, who has been pulled out of prison to fight in the war alongside British officer George Mason. Here, the two look to deplete the enemy defenses by taking out planes and other important points of interest while going behind enemy lines. In the first mission, called Crossing Lines, we had to sneak into an enemy airfield and destroy the planes. This one was actually pretty easy and I was able to sneak in unscathed, but of course this was too good to be true, as during the cutscene we see that the final plane was not destroyed. So of course it was time to take it out. So after racing to an AA gun, I took out the attacking planes and the mission was over. Even on Hardcore, this mission was very easy. As we see in the ensuing cutscene following the end of the mission, Mason got injured. So in the next mission, we sought medical supplies while also taking out more enemy points of interest all by myself. I first decided to go to the nearby airfield, where I shot a few fuel tanks and blew up some supplies. Next, I headed over to a nearby village to take out 2 satellite stations. The last objective required me to infiltrate a comms bunker, and here I actually had some trouble, but after finally taking everyone out and infiltrating the bunker, Bridger radioed to a British ship to pick us up and grab some medical supplies. Next, I drove back to Mason, where the mission ended, and we found out that everyone heard Bridger's SOS message, and we were now being followed by an entire fleet of German infantry. This set the scene for the final mission, called Onslaught, and this was the perfect name, as the entire mission required us to fight for our lives and defend our position. I figured this would be one of the hardest missions in the game, especially on Hardcore, given that there wasn't a lot of cover and places to hide, and of course I was right, and I did indeed die a lot. I'm cooked. Hey, I'm dead. Mate, I'm dead. Mate, I'm dead. Mate, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? However, the worst part of this mission wasn't that it was difficult. The worst part was actually when Mason decided to play music over a speaker and started singing while I was fighting for my life. What is he singing, bro? Shut up, it's not the time. I'm gonna lose my mind. The singing is not helping. God, the singing is actually killing me. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. No, this is not a sing-along. We are fighting for our lives. But eventually, I finally took out the last few enemies and the war story was complete. Here, I earned my first campaign trophy. Look at that, mate. It's cavalry. There it is. Lovely. Lovely. That was lovely fun, wasn't it? Next, I started the Nordlys war story, which followed a Norwegian resistance fighter named Solveig, who looked to rescue her captive mother, who was a member of the Norwegian resistance attempting to sabotage the German program of producing and exporting heavy water for the creation of a nuke. The first mission, Still and Silent, was actually pretty cool. Here I had to break into the water facility to save Solveig's mother all by myself. I even got to do a bit of skiing, which I thought was pretty cool. But nonetheless, the mission definitely promoted stealth, and I didn't get that memo right away. What? But finally, after getting past the guards and utilizing throwing knives, I made it into the facility and rescued Astrid. After defending her from some attacking enemies, I sabotaged 2 objectives and made my way to the rendezvous where this happened.
Lastebilene. Ikke en dråpe. Forstår du? Jeg elsker deg.
Goodbye, mother. Okay, what if I just died right there? How am I not paralyzed? Is her neck good? No. There's no way she just ate that fall. After nearly being paralyzed by my own mother, I now had to find some heat. This mission was probably the easiest and shortest mission in the game, as all I had to do was take out a few enemies at a few different locations, find fires, and that was it. After finding a cabin and taking out the worst guard of all time, we read over Astrid's plans and learned that we needed to take out a few things to cripple the heavy water supply. This set the scene for the final mission. Like the first mission, I got to do some skiing, which was pretty cool. From here, I skied to a roof where I shot a few barrels, which blew up a truck I needed to destroy. From here, I traveled to a town where I destroyed police intelligence. After this, I had to ski to some docks where there were 2 water shipments. This was a bit difficult as there were a ton of guards at the docks, so I wasn't able to complete this objective as stealthy as I would have liked. So, after running into the docks, destroying the 2 shipments, and skiing away as fast as possible, I infiltrated a bunker where I found the last heavy water shipment. However, I got caught and the trucks tried to get away. However, I caught up on my snowmobile and blew up the shipment with my grenade launcher. Now, I had to save Astrid where this happened. What was that? I just get run over? There's a good chance she gets executed here. Yep. No!
Jeg så stolt av deg, Solveig.
No! You already let it go. I knew it. GG. No. No. There we go. Store Fulgur Anga Ingi Fulgur. I don't know what that means. Hopefully I didn't say anything bad. Now, only one more story remains, Tirailleur. This war story followed Senegalese units of the French colonial forces who were forced to fight to liberate France. This war story was by far the hardest out of the 3 as it had little to no stealth opportunities and forced you to fight the enemies head-on, which in hardcore is not ideal. Here we play as a soldier named Deme, and the first mission begins after our convoy is ambushed. This mission is similar to a typical typical Battlefield multiplayer game, as you are constantly being shot at from every direction, with the main objective to secure an objective at the top of a hill. After going slow and taking out every enemy I saw, we secured the objective. The second part of this mission is where things really started to heat up. Like a lot of the missions in World War II based Call of Duty games, similarly here in Battlefield 5, we had to take out 3 artillery guns while being shot at by MGs in bunkers. This again was not easy and definitely took a few tries. However, again, after being patient and going slow, I took out the 3 field guns and advanced ahead. The last part of the mission required us to secure a bunker and then defend it. Surprisingly, I found this to be the easiest portion of the mission, and I was able to sit back and slowly pick off the enemies. And after taking out the last enemy, the mission was over. The next mission starts with me alone on a road as I look to regroup with my fellow soldiers. This was really the lone stealth section of this war story, and let's just say I wasn't too successful at being stealthy. After getting spotted and quickly dying a couple times, I decided that I would just run to each objective, and this turned out to be somewhat effective. Barely. Now that I met up with the squad, we had to blow up a few AA guns, which wasn't too bad, and after blowing up all 3, the mission was over. Now it was time to start the final mission of the third and final war story. In this mission, the main objective was to fight to and reach and capture a castle at the top of the hill. However, before getting to the castle, we had to take out enemy defenses guarding the castle. The first being at a village. Here we had to take out a tank and 2 field guns. While the game offers the chance to clear out the first village stealthy, I decided to go in guns blazing, and this worked out well. Next, we reached an enemy encampment, and here things got difficult. Here there were a ton of enemies, a lot of which had bazookas that would kill me in one shot, and of course I died quite a lot. Since I wasn't finding too much success, I decided to use the tactic that I employed in the previous mission and just run. Somehow this worked, as after I died, I got a checkpoint which progressed me past the enemies. Now all I had to do was take out the final enemies guarding the castle, and of course I went slow and took everyone out. Now it was finally time to breach the castle, and once we got in, we got absolutely destroyed. However, I somehow survived and watched Deme's best friend Adrisa sacrifice himself to save the unit and secure the castle. Now all I had to do was run over to some doors, and here the final mission concluded and I got the final 5 trophies.
Messieurs, nous sommes fiers de vous et de ce que vous avez accompli.
Merci, mon commandant.
Peace. So bright. Thank you. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Quand l'armée française a libéré Paris, ils ont retiré tous les soldats noirs.
After all they did.
Je sais ce qu'on a fait. Et à quel prix. Et j'en suis fier.
Here we go. Storyteller. How many are gonna pop here? Veteran. Sins of the Fathers. I think maybe 2 more. Oh, La Mort. And the Platinum. World War II hero. Wow.
I've always been a huge fan of the Battlefield campaign, so I decided to start there. Battlefield 6's story takes place in 2028, where a global conflict erupts between NATO and Pax Armada, a powerful private military corporation backed by former NATO members. The first mission takes place a year earlier in the country of Georgia, where NATO forces are preparing to withdraw from the country, making way for what's supposed to be a peaceful transition as Pax Armada moves in. Here, we take control of Gunnery Sergeant Dylan Murphy in a military base, and before doing anything else, I turned around and picked up a dinosaur figurine, which is a cool nod to Battlefield 3, and unlocked my first trophy.
End of an era. Find the dinosaur figurine in the NATO base and always faithful.
Anyone forget their dinosaur?
And as the squad was on their way to speak with command, the NATO base gets ambushed by an assault from Pax forces. After fighting our way to a vehicle, our new objective was to neutralize essential cybersecurity installations to prevent them from being captured by the enemy. And after surviving the Pax ambush and escaping the base, we regrouped just outside the server farm, where I picked up my first of 30 total dog tags.
In memoriam, pick up a campaign collectible.
Now we needed to get into the nearby building and destroy the servers, and on our way in I saw a group of enemies huddled up and managed to kill 3 of them with a singular grenade.
Oh, I saw him. Yes, 1 stone. That's for eliminating 3 enemies with a single grenade in single player.
Once inside, we made our way up the building, planting C4 along the way until it was time to exfil. Here, we needed to hold out until our helicopter arrived, and once we got in, we blew the building and it appeared as if we were in the clear. That is, when we got hit by a missile and go down, and now we needed to make our last stand.
Oh, it's so over. Oh my god, he got head tapped. Oh my god, that was brutal. Oh no. God. No, oh my god. No, he's surrendering.
Hey, we gotta go. You alright?
Rip the guys, bro.
Let's go!
That's gotta feel terrible. Stand alone. Complete always faithful. That was a crazy end.
In the following cutscene, the game fast forwards to present day, where Murphy and his Dagger 1-3 squad infiltrate the house of Melissa Mills, a member of the CIA and the former commanding officer of Dagger 1-3. However, we don't necessarily know what Murphy and his squad are doing here. Instead, we are introduced to another member of Dagger, Gecko, and here the game goes back in time a few months and we relive the retaking of Gibraltar from Pax through the eyes of Gecko. Gecko's objective on Gibraltar was to provide sniper support for all allied British troops who attempted to destroy a radar station. So after a rough landing on the rock, it wasn't long into the mission where I got my 50th headshot of the campaign.
Liquidator. Headshot kill 50 enemies in the campaign. Already, wow, 2nd mission.
Continuing to provide support, we eventually destroyed the radar station and we made our way into some tunnels where we had to navigate through a World War II museum. And in the museum, I found my 5th dog tag.
Dogs of War. Pick up 5 campaign collectibles.
Not long after, we got ambushed in a room full of mannequins, and during the campaign there would be 1 miscellaneous trophy per mission, and this mission's miscellaneous trophy required me to destroy 10 mannequins, and after doing so, I got my next trophy.
Efficiency. Destroyed 10 mannequins in the rock. These are all pretty easy so far.
Once exiting the tunnels, we now needed to destroy a few anti-aircraft artillery guns, and after doing this, the mission concluded. In the next mission, we then take control of Murphy again, who leads the assault on Gibraltar from the water. As our tanks were heading toward the beach, I managed to destroy 3 floating mines.
Deep 6. Destroy 3 floating mines in Operation Gladys.
After landing on the beach and taking out the Pax forces, we regrouped with Carter and Gecko and needed to make our way to the City Hall. And while escorting our tanks to City Hall, I destroyed my 10th enemy vehicle.
Armor Annihilation. Destroy 10 enemy vehicles in single player. Not too bad. What is this, the 3rd, 4th mission? 3rd?
When we got close to the City Hall, we regrouped at an overwatch position, and here we saw Pax Armada Ground Commander Alex Kincaid execute one of the British lieutenants. We then quickly sprung into action and attempt to take back City Hall and apprehend Kincaid. This would end up being a challenging task as the square was filled with Pax soldiers. Eventually, we made our way inside City Hall, where after checking each room, Kincaid had seemingly escaped and we came up empty-handed.
Rock of Gibraltar.
The next cutscene again goes back to present day, where the squad is interrogating Mills about Kincaid's escape of Gibraltar. During the questioning, Mills recalls a mission from months earlier when Dagger was sent to Cairo to extract a biometric CEO with critical intel on Pax from PMC-occupied Egypt. This of course sets the scene for the next mission, and during the mission I'd have to complete it only using pistols, knives, and gadgets. And this, as you can probably guess, wasn't the easiest thing to do. Nonetheless, this mission felt like it was straight out of one of the Modern Warfare games, from the initial driving sequence to the night vision and scoping out of the objective and then the infiltration itself. All in all, this definitely had a Modern Warfare vibe to it, and once cutting the lights to the palace and making it inside, I found my 10th dog tag.
Hounds of War. Pick up 10 campaign collectibles.
From here, we fought room to room until we found the informant. However, it appears as if he didn't cover his tracks and was caught and was left to die. But in his last moments, he gave us a thumbs up, and it turns out that the data we came to secure was actually located through a chip implanted into his thumb. So of course, we cut it off and made our escape. Fighting out of the palace was actually pretty difficult with just a pistol, but after getting past all the enemies, we got to the rendezvous where our driver's car was destroyed by an attack helicopter and we get ambushed. Now we needed to survive and hold out until an extraction team could make it to our location. And this was probably the hardest part of the campaign, even on regular difficulty, as again, the pistol was no match compared to the amount of enemies converging on our position. But eventually our extraction finally arrived and we escaped Cairo.
Devil in the Dark. Complete night raid. Sidearm Avant. Complete night raid using only pistol, knives, or gadgets. That one was kind of tough. There was a lot of fire, bro.
During the next cutscene with Mills, we find out that the chip in the thumb gave the squad intel about Kincaid's cell in Brooklyn. However, it didn't tell us how he actually got there in the first place. But with this data, we also found out that Kincaid was plotting a large-scale attack in Brooklyn where a NATO summit was taking place. So we flash back to where Dagger is deployed to attempt to prevent the attack. Here we play as Carter, another member of the squad, and early on in the mission, we are granted access to a sledgehammer that I would now have to use to kill 5 enemies, which, after doing, earned me my next trophy.
Looks like a nail. That's for killing 5 enemies with a sledgehammer in no sleep. It's kind of fun. That's a silly trophy, but I like it.
From here, we fought through apartment buildings until we reached the PAX Brooklyn HQ. Here we learn of Kincaid's plans to launch missiles at New York's power grids, bridges, tunnels, and Midtown. And after searching the HQ, we found a trapdoor under a bed leading to the subway, which turned out to be a gold mine, as PAX soldiers were everywhere. As we followed Kincaid's trail, we find out that he's using trains, which is where PAX was arming the missiles from. So now we needed to chase after them and disarm the missile launch. While chasing after the train, we get hit by an oncoming PAX truck, which stopped us in our tracks. Now we needed to reach a helicopter, which would then get us close enough to the train to board and disarm. And after some jets blew up a bridge, which brought the train to a halt, it was time to search through the wreckage. And after barely making it across the bridge, we got to where the transmitters were located. And after attempting to try and stop the strikes, it was too late.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh God.
Oh. We're good? Are we sure? That's going right to you, bro. You gotta go. You gotta move. Oh. Oh. Shrapnel. It's over. I mean, water is probably the smartest thing here. Oh, I get hit? Oh my God. Am I dead?
It turns out that Carter actually made it out alive and that most of the missiles were intercepted, so I guess it was technically a win. But even though the missiles were intercepted, Kincaid was still on the loose, and now he was going after the president, who was being held in a safe house here in New York. So now we needed to get to him before Kincaid and PAX did, and on our way to find the president, we find that his motorcade had been ambushed, and while clearing out the PAX hostiles near the motorcade, I managed to headshot 6 in a row to get my next trophy.
Or, oh. Bullseye Blitz. Land 6 consecutive headshots. Oh, okay. I only needed to land. I didn't need to kill anyone with the 6 headshots. Gotcha. Okay, cool.
And once the street was clear, we found the president hiding out in the fire station, and as we were getting ready to exfil on the roof, our helicopter gets destroyed by PAX drones. So now that we were running low on options on how to escape, we came up with a plan to first take out the drone operators in a nearby park so that the president could have a clear lane to escape. So after heading to Prospect Park and finding and then taking out the drone operators, we then destroyed the drone command center and regrouped with the squad. From here, we needed to protect the president as we made our way to a nearby operating base. And of course, like most things in this campaign, things did not go according to plan and we ended up underground. Now we needed to make our way to the surface and catch up to the president. And after taking out a ton of PAX enemies in the subway, we made it to the streets where we needed to secure the operating base. And while doing this, I picked up my 20th dog tag.
Got an ID tag here.
Wolves of War. Pick up 20 campaign collectibles.
And once securing the operating base, we needed to hold out until our exfil from the water arrived, and after a few minutes of taking out enemies and destroying tanks, the boats arrived and we managed to extract the president. However, we were not able to leave with him as we took fire from Kincaid himself.
Hey, pal!
I knew it.
Go for Carter. Fuck you. Call him. Beg for someone to save you.
God, he's a psycho.
You. Fuck me. Too late, pal. You had to play the hero. And you won.
Sure did.
Here's your prize.
You always did talk too much. Alex. Hands off. Now.
Didn't check your corners.
No. You should have just shot him, bro. It's one dude. Literally one dude.
Huh?
No, Carter.
Is to make yourself too big to ignore or be forgotten.
He's so cooked.
I say again, additional gunshots heard. Spread out.
No.
Muster up while you can, pal. Trust me. You have no idea what they'll do to you.
No way I'm gonna survive again. Bro, the survivor's guilt must be insane. It's the fourth dude he's seen die. He was close with.
Pressure on.
No. Kinda sad, bro. Secret Service. Complete no sleep and moving mountains. Those are cool missions.
In the following cutscene back at Mill's house, we get introduced to the member who replaced Carter, named Hemlock. During the squad's conversation with Mills, President Fernandez appears in a live broadcast following the attempt on his life, announcing the formation of a global NATO response force and formally declaring war on Pax Armada. And a month later, Egyptian army forces launch an assault on Pax Armada forces still occupying Cairo. This sets the scene for the next mission, where we take control of an Egyptian tank, and here I decided to change the difficulty to hardcore, as I needed to complete a singular mission on the hardest difficulty. Thankfully, this was by far the shortest mission in the game, which made things a bit easier. Nonetheless, this was a pretty straightforward mission, and after collapsing an overpass which destroyed a few tanks, I got a trophy.
There we go. Roadside assistance. Collapse an overpass on a tank in Nile Guard.
From here, we made our way through the streets of Cairo, taking out enemies in the tank until we eventually had to save the captain of a crashed helicopter. And after moving on foot and securing the survivors, this marked the end of the 7th mission.
Eye Roller. Complete Nile Guard. And Peak Performance. Complete a single player mission on the hardest difficulty. Very easy.
Back at Mill's house, we see that Pax forces are converging on the house, and Dagger manages to eliminate the threat. After this, Hemlock mentions Tajikistan, which is where the next mission takes place. It turns out that Dagger, now under Murphy's leadership and with Hemlock added to the team, is sent to Tajikistan ahead of NATO's main offensive to address air defenses near a crucial dam. This mission was actually pretty large scale and a bit non-linear, as we were first tasked with disabling 3 SAM sites spread out across the valley, and before doing this, while using a drone to spot some enemies, I spotted a total of 20 to get a trophy.
Being watched. Spot a total of 20 enemies with your drone in Operation Ember Strike.
After disabling all 3 SAM sites, we needed to push forward and attempted to destroy a 4th, which was located near a dam. Here, things got a bit hectic as Pax sent reinforcements in the form of tanks, helicopters, and trucks. And after managing to repel the reinforcements using a mortar, we made it to the dam, where once again we were met with heavy resistance. And after getting across the bottom of the dam and to the SAM site on the other side of the river, we disabled it. However, we hear from Mills that our efforts were unsuccessful and that the SAM network was still operational. Hemlock then comes up with a plan to destroy the dam itself, which would ensure that the network would be taken down for good. Initially, we were going to utilize a drone strike, however, Pax moved in AAAs, which could easily take down the jets. Now we needed to destroy the AAAs ourselves. Once we reached the top of the dam, I took out the 2 AAAs, and we are then attacked by a group of tanks in front and behind us, and we needed to make a run for it before the jets destroyed the dam. This was a pretty cool ending to the mission, as we needed to rappel down the dam and make our escape using some trucks while also avoiding gunfire, rubble, and water coming from the destruction of the dam.
Damned if you do. Complete Operation Ember Strike.
In the next cutscene, we see Mills unlock a safe and attempt to grab a gun where she's quickly knocked down by Gecko. Apparently inside the safe was a document which, according to Mills, was a list of names of people operating inside packs and destroying them from within. And here we learn that Kincaid was actually one of Mills' men, revealing that she herself was also an enemy from within. The game then cuts back to Tajikistan, where the final assault on packs takes place. The squad's goal here is to take out Kincaid and disarm a hypersonic missile system that was carrying NXC, a highly toxic combustible nano compound and a central element. First, we got past a PAX outpost where we made it to an overlook. From here, we called in an airstrike and made our way toward the NXC launcher. And once getting past all the enemies on the airstrip, we made it to the first hangar where Hemlock managed to disable the missile. After this, I got in a tank and took out an enemy helicopter with it.
Alright, I gotta shoot this down for a trophy. Good aim. No reinforcements. Shoot down the reinforcement chopper with a tank during always forward. It was good aim, bro. Come on.
When we got to the next hangar, Hemlock again disabled the missile, and now we needed to find Kincaid and end things for good. But on our way to the bunker, another missile managed to explode, with a fellow squad risking their life to disable it. And after barely making it inside the bunker, I immediately found my final dog tag.
Tag found!
Pack leader. Pick up all campaign collectibles. Let's go.
Now we needed to navigate through the bunker and to the control room where Kincaid was supposedly held up at, and this part was relatively difficult, and there were a bunch of enemies, but eventually we managed to get past all of them where we finally confronted Kincaid.
Hey. They couldn't let me get the shot? Where was he running?
No hesitation. You learned your lesson from the last time, eh, pal? Oh, Carter would be proud.
Again. But
Buddy, guess some men just have to play the hero.
pop him. Shoot him.
Watch this
Let
piece of
me
shit.
shoot him.
Tell Melissa the Gitter says hello. You were told to shut up!
We're bringing him in.
He can't leave this facility.
Ask her why she wants me dead so bad. You're here to clean up her loose ends.
He's trying to get in your head. Same as Carter.
I'm her recruit. All this time Pax had the backing of the CIA, you dumb fuck. It's all her doing, along with her cronies. They needed a big bad.
He's lying.
They fucking got one.
I'm ordering you, Marie, to finish the mission.
She'll bin you, just like me.
Secure him.
How long have you had an assassin on your team?
Hemlock.
Come on, you're all too smart to be dancing to her tune.
What's wrong with you?
Just don't get us down.
Hemlock.
Who's reaching?
No, he. Okay. I mean, I guess he did have a knife.
After Hemlock killed Kincaid, we needed to quickly exit the bunker as the NATO bombers were getting ready to level the airfield, and after getting outside and in a helicopter, we managed to escape Tajikistan alive, completing the Battlefield 6 campaign.
Oh my god.
We need another approach with Mills and her allies.
Whether we like it or not, we're finishing this. Together.
Cloak and Dagger. Complete the Battlefield 6 campaign. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
You want us to believe that the CIA created Pax? Ask Hemlock. He knows.
Kiss my ass.
I think you tried to kill us because Kincaid was telling the truth. I think you're just tying up loose ends.
She's too dangerous to the country. The patriotic thing to do? Stack her like firewood, leave her for the cleanup crew. She helped create Pax. It was her man, Kincaid, who stole Project Velas. He was there because of her. He supplied Pax with NXC, and he tried to kill the president.
And he killed Az.
Not only did she try to erase us, but she's best pals with the worst enemy that we've had in decades. Every breath that she draws is another opportunity to whisper into their ears.
I know what I gotta do. Everybody, move.
Murphy, just...
There's nothing left to say.
Do it.
I honestly really enjoyed the Battlefield 6 campaign and thought it was one of the better campaigns out of the recent COD and Battlefield games. After 13 years and 8 games later, I have finally earned every obtainable campaign trophy in Battlefield history, from the comedic storytelling of Bad Company 1 and 2, to Battlefield 3, 4, and 6's Modern Warfare stories, to Battlefield 1 and 5's World War I and II experiences, and even Hardline's take on the war and crime. Every game brought something different to the series. After playing through every Battlefield campaign, I have to say that Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 ended up being my favorites. I may be a little biased, as the World War II campaigns in the Call of Duty series are also some of my favorites, but I think Battlefield managed to bring a different perspective to these historical conflicts. Instead of focusing only on the most famous battles, these games told stories from different countries and soldiers that you don't usually see in other World War I and II shooters, which made them stand out. As for the trophies, most of them were pretty straightforward, but the two that gave me the most trouble were the aircraft related trophies in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 1. While those sections were extremely frustrating, I still had a great time going back through these campaigns and earning every trophy that was still available. Unfortunately, 3 of these games have had their multiplayer servers shut down, making the platinum trophies impossible to obtain today. However, I'm glad I was still able to return to all of these games and experience their campaigns again. As for Battlefield 2042, I didn't include it in this video since it doesn't feature a campaign, but I'm currently working towards this platinum trophy, so stay tuned for a Battlefield 2042 platinum video coming very soon. But if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.